Hey, what's going on, Geminites? It's your boy Gem Mint,
Melvin the Manimal.
We got a special guest on the show today. This is our actual first interview with a creator.
Right, not face to face at a con, trying to hustle to get the interview. Right.
Right. We got now. I would say you're a digital sculptor. Is that a correct term?
Yeah, that's a correct term, man.
So we got the man. Franco Carlesimo, my favorite sculptor, man. Your shit is already cursing. Is crazy, man. I love your work, man. Thank you for coming.
Thanks, man. No, thanks. I really appreciate it. And thank you guys for the invite. This is going to be fun for me for sure, man.
Yeah,
and also give us the proper pronunciation of your last name, because you know us Americans.
Yeah, well, it's from Italian origin, so it's Carlesimo. Carlesimo.
Okay. All right, so Franco, before we get started, we got some people in the chat. I'd like to say what's up to them first. We're going to do a little bit of an interview. We're going to look at some of your renders, and you're also going to live sculpt something for us during the show.
Well, yeah, I'm going to try for sure.
So real quick, let's shout out to our guys in the chat. We got Robert Incredible. We've got Eric Bertot. We got Milton the Manimal.
Child of the Adams.
Yeah, we got Bernard Brown. We got Mega Tulo.
Oh shit, Cartel just showed up.
Cartel from Hell. We got MCE, Star-Lord.
That boy Star-Lord.
So guys, everyone in the chat, you guys, Franco's going to sculpt a character of your choice. So you guys got to sound off in the chat. What do you want him to work on throughout the show? But it can't be too elaborate. You know, let's do something kind of simple.
Yeah, keep in mind we got an hour here, so we want to see as much done as possible. So don't be doing what Tax say, a life-size Galactus or something.
We don't need Mephisto with fire everywhere, even though that would be dope.
Ooh, Mephisto, that would be cool.
Then maybe you can do a regular Mephisto.
Yeah, we can try.
So let's see, what do we got going on? So we're going to do a little bit of an interview. Now, you're 8 hours ahead of us right now. Where are you from, Franco?
Well, originally I'm from Argentina, let's say in Spanish. I was born in Mar del Plata. That's my hometown. It's in Buenos Aires, the capital, but it's not in the capital. Well, it's far away. It's like 400 kilometers from the big city. You know, capital Buenos Aires. And right now I'm living in Barcelona. I moved out here around a year ago, a year and a few months.
Okay, cool. So yeah, 8 hours ahead. So it's like 11 o'clock at night for you right now, right?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
All right, cool. So digital sculptor, how did you get into that? Did you start doing traditional, or did you just pick up ZBrush one day? How'd that happen?
No, it's a long story. I mean, I have been playing with the arts, you can say, for a long time. Actually, all my life. All my life I wanted to do mostly illustrations, stuff like that. I really always loved sculpt because my mother she's a sculptor. She doesn't do it anymore, but she used to do it.
Okay.
And that really, I think, influenced me, for sure, man. I've been drawing all my life, really loving comics since a young little kid. I used to draw, every X-Men that I could, but I never was the best guy at drawing. No way near. But I never stopped. I'm not really that good anymore, but I got better with time. But eventually I went to a artistic school that we have over there called Martin Manarro, and I studied illustration over there. Wasn't the best in the world, but it was good enough. I started working doing illustration work for little kids, best story time, like drawings for those. And then I started working on commercials and stuff like that. And slowly I started moving to animation because that was really what I wanted to do. It was all you go and you try something out, and then you figure out that thing, and you find out about something new, something different, and you try and you go into that. And that is what I always have done. If I found out about something that I really like, I just go for it.
How old are you, Franco?
Right now, I'm 34.
34. Okay, so how long have you been sculpting? How many years?
Well, using ZBrush, you can say around 9 years.
Oh damn!
Oh wow!
But
You answered all the questions I have on my list. He went down the line.
Jen's over here. Check.
I guess we're done.
Yes, show's over. Yeah.
Okay, guys. No, I got a lot of beer still.
No.
We can go on.
So let me ask you, you mentioned that you were always into comics as a kid. That's something that I wanted to know because you're sculpting these, a lot of X-Men pieces. You got your Morbius, which I have, and I did a review on it, which I love. So growing up, it sounds like you were more of a Marvel than a DC guy.
Well, yeah, because I used to love, actually, I never saw it like that, actually. I mean, for me, it was all the same. It was comics in general, you know, superheroes, guys that do the right thing in the hardest time. That is what I really like about them, because the first comic book I read, if I don't misremember, was, you know, this was a comic book like, you know, with the ones you call, I don't remember the name, the omnibuses. There was an X-Men one that was like with a white cover and a blue X on the middle that contained a lot of X-Men stories, like Days of the Future Past, stuff like that, like really classic good ones. And I think that was the first comic that I ever read, and that was like freaking cool. I think mostly of them were like drawn by Jim Lee.
So we're big fans of Jim Lee as well. So is that?
But it's not about the art, but in general, I mean, there were like really cool and popping up, you know, drawings. And after that, I remember reading about Batman, reading Superman, and I always liking those characters. I mean, they were like really opposite of each other, but they always will try to do the right thing. And after all that, after all the superhero stuff and all that, I find out about a comic that is from Argentina. This is freaking crazy. It's called El Cazador, so kind of like the hunter. And man, that thing is freaking crazy. It's not for like 10 or 12-year boys.
Dang,
you have a lot of like nice girls. This dude is like cursed, and he's cursed with life. So he's like this vigilante, but he doesn't give a fuck about everything, and he kills everybody. He's fucking crazy, and it's super fun.
What are the shops like in Argentina for comics? I mean, you go into like comic book shops, or you buy them like we used to buy them from 11s at times.
From my hometown, because I'm from Mar del Plata, it was like really limited. I mean, there was like probably 2 comic shops, and there was this that I really like, and today I'm friends with the owner. That's called Rayos y Centellas. That's like lightings and I don't know what the word. Yeah, it's like a Robin phrase. Like, well, I don't remember the translation, but yeah, it was like the main comic book store for me. I used to go there all the time, and the funny thing is that the owner Claudio used to know me from like having like 12, 13 years old. So I keep going there every time. I used to show him my drawings, you know. So he's like a good friend to me now, and he saw all the evolution of my work.
So do you still keep up with comics now, or are you reading anything?
Well, yeah, man, I am. Well, I just got my copy because I didn't have this one. You know, The Killing Joke. I got the pack. That's cool because it's a good pack.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
I have a feeling I'm like trying to start a new collection because when I was like really young, my mother, one day I was out, and when I came back, they were gone.
Wow.
Oh, like a big freaking table, like stacked with comic books. But for some reason, she threw them all away. So that was fucking crazy. My mother.
Oh, your mother.
Yeah. I was like, I don't know, 14, something like that.
So Franco, let's do this. What I want to do is, for these guys who are not familiar with your work, I want to go through your ArtStation page really quick.
Go ahead.
And show these guys why, what really made me become a fan of you. So here's your stuff right here. What I'm going to pull up is
me.
Oh, you did Manimal.
You did me right there.
So this is one of my favorites that you've done, right? This robe with this sentinel head, right? So these are close-ups of her face, right?
Yep.
So I just like the what's the word I want to look for? I want to say like the craziness of
Like the action shot.
yeah, like you do elaborate poses and huge like almost diorama type bases.
It's like you can feel the character, kind of.
Nice, thanks.
So let me ask you. Oh, this you can zoom in like crazy with this thing, man.
Yeah, yeah. I upload them in like high res so you can take a look.
So like to scale, this is a quarter scale piece.
Yeah, so that's going to be like a bowling ball, I think.
Like a bowling ball, right? So let me ask you this. So you're a freelance designer. So is this your style? Like you like to do the big elaborate bases, or is that what people like your client?
Depends on the client, because it's not something that I can, if a client asks me for a robe and I came up with this, it's going to be like, you're freaking crazy. I mean, that's a different deal. I don't manage. I mean, my job is to do a sculpt, and that's it.
Yeah, yeah.
If you do with a sculpt, that is your business. That's all I can say about that.
You know what's cool about that? That's cool about that rogue is it's a rogue statue, but it's almost also a sentinel statue.
Yeah,
like it's
kind of right. That's a big, yeah. Well, the clients usually came with the idea, and then we work it out. And I do like a lot of revisions and review because I like to keep it like very tight with the client.
Yeah.
And it's fun, man. I mean, I like to model. That's the thing. It's not like I only like to model big guys and anatomy and all that. I really enjoy the modeling process.
So this is another one of my favorites of yours, man. This Iceman
That's a big one.
is crazy, and I love like I don't know how if this gets printed, how they're gonna make it have this like clear kind of effect, maybe a clear resin or something.
so delicate right there too. Like
Yeah,
probably.
but that is just an amazing piece, man.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, because I get all this like attention, you can say, that I'm really grateful for. I still, every time I see my work, it's for me. It's like I see the flaws. The things that I see, and I go, oh, I could have done that better, or I know better now, so I would like to change it, but.
Well, I think that's how everyone is, man. But I'll be honest, the chat right now, everyone's saying everything that we're showing right now, everyone thinks it's dope.
It's crazy.
Someone just said best Iceman they've seen.
Hell yeah, for sure. Like look at even the portrait on this Iceman. It's based. I mean, there's no paint on it. He's just a clear thing, but you can see the emotion in his face, and it looks good.
The thing about this one is that I had to like really exaggerate the anatomy. You can say, the deep cuts, because I know it's going to be clear resin. So if I leave it like a little bit subtle, a lot of those things will be lost, in the resin. Right. So let me just open up one.
What are you drinking?
I got some Coronas because I didn't want to get like really drunk. So this is like, it's meal. It's good.
I like Coronas. So another piece that you did that I really loved is this Cyclops piece, man. And you know what's funny? Like at first when I saw like the initial concepts, because I've seen this from a stick figure until what it is now.
yeah,
right?
That came up from a stick figure. I
saw it. So this was like a storyboard picture, a stick figure of this, and I was like, that looks kind of whack. But then as I started seeing the progress, I was like, this is the best Cyclops I've ever seen in my life.
So I don't know a lot about, I'm not a big statue guy, Franco, but, Jem's always showing me which ones he wants to get and whatnot. One of the things I remember seeing this months ago when you showed me this, how'd you do the switch outs with the optic blast? That's what I didn't understand. I was like, man, with the portrait and everything, was that tough to do?
Well, yeah, I mean, you have to think about, because you know that the end product is going to be like a print, at least a print. So you have to think about the engineering part of the things.
Right.
And you have to start at least learning a little bit about materials and what can be used. What I did is just like make a long, solid blast, I hope, and it's going to be key in the head. And then it's going to be keyed on the hand. So you're going to be able to key it in both sides. And then when you are not using the plaster, supposedly you're going to have something that to replace the holder.
So Franco, that's what I was curious about. So you're designing this, but you are also thinking about the engineering part of it. Like how is
yeah, you have to think about that a little bit, yeah, because it's not the same. I mean, I work for commercials, I work for kind of cinematics, I work for a different kind of stuff. So each one has a different treatment. So you have to think about this becoming a physical thing.
Yeah, that's a lot to keep in track, you know, because you have your idea of what you want to do, but like you said, then you got to kind of juggle. Okay, what's feasible, and how do I make this work?
It's got to balance.
Yeah,
it's got to be able to stand up straight. Like,
that's a lot, man. A lot of physics involved with that too, right?
Yeah, but luckily, I mean, the guys that is just I can do it to some point, and then that's it. My job ends there. Then if you can really actually do it or not, then that's a different story.
We got guys in the chat saying, "Dude makes this look easy," and it's true. The way you're talking about it, like you're blowing my mind. But you just are like, "Oh, I don't know. I think about it and I do it."
That's it.
Yeah.
No, it's not that it's easy, but and I keep studying every day. I'm practicing and studying anatomy and composition and stuff like that. But I've been doing it for like almost 10 years now. So it's not specifically this, but the modeling part, you know, learning the tools and doing models and interpreting, you know, a drawing and bringing that to 3D. That's the main thing about my job. I mean, mostly you get like a 2D concept art, just in commercials as well. I mean, you get a drawing from a concept artist, and then you have to bring that model, that design to the 3D and make it work in 3D. And that time is sometimes it's not that easy.
So Franco, so it looks like the majority of the chat is saying to try to do something like an Incredible Hulk thing real quick.
Like real quick, right? Lots of muscle.
Here's your backups, though. It looks like the votes were, I think it was Hulk, Hellboy, and Beast were the top 3.
So all difficult.
Ooh, I have to say from that, I will go with a Hellboy.
Okay,
let's do it.
The best one.
So you're gonna share.
Let me gather some reference, man. I need some reference.
So that's a good question. So I was going to ask you, what do you use for reference material when you start doing a character?
Everything, and all I can find that I like. It's not about only the drawing. Sometimes it's about. I mean, if we are going to do some horns, look for like real horns and stuff like that. It's not only the drawings, but yeah, I do take a lot of inspiration from a lot of different artists.
Do you choose your favorite? Like, for example, like I'm not super familiar with artists of Hellboy, but like we were talking about Jim Lee and everything. When you do like a Wolverine, do you think, okay, I like Wolverine Jim Lee era, or do you do a little bit of like who else, like Frank Miller, John Byrne, or?
No, yeah, but I don't have those like specific preference. Sometimes I mean I find a concept art from another fan art, you know, and that's cool enough to make it work.
So let me ask you this: anatomy. A lot of collectors are super into anatomy. Like you have to look at traditional anatomy books and like what do you do to come up to make sure that's right?
I'm always checking my anatomy because I don't feel like comfortable with it. I mean, I don't think I'm on the level that I want. I don't think I will ever be. But I have like tons of books. Wow. I have like Andrew Loomings because I like to look for different kind of artists. I got just anatomy for 3 artists. These guys use Seaver, so it's kind of cool to see the techniques. I got like anatomy illustrations. You know, yeah, I'm on the camera, right?
Yeah.
These kind of good books, but I'm always like checking them and cross-referencing them. You know, this is a really good one if you want to learn. Check this one out.
Yeah, cool.
You should send some of those anatomy books to Liefeld for feet drawings.
I'm sure that's the first time you heard that. I saw one guy that gave him that a gift, an anatomy book as a gift.
Hey, from your Franco. All right, so Franco, you're gonna share your screens and show us kind of what you do, right?
Yeah. Let me gather some reference because
While you do that,
I wasn't expecting. Yeah,
I'm gonna ask you some other questions while you're doing that. Let me ask you. So, what is your favorite project that you've worked on so far, or do you even have one?
My favorite project so far. I don't think I have one because it's like I always really enjoy what I'm doing at the moment. I cannot tell you what I'm doing at the moment. I think you know. but it's always like the last thing I'm doing because.
Yeah. I feel you. I think that's how a lot of creators are. Your last piece is your best piece that you've ever done, like in your mind, because that's the most recent. You know what I wanted to ask you though. You have a couple of pieces behind you that you designed and that have actually been produced. Morbius, that Punisher. How does that feel when something that you created is now like a tangible thing?
Oh, it's amazing. It's everything because spending like 10 years working on the digital realm when I used to do commercials. So commercials are like this shitty thing that nobody wants to see, wants to watch. And they go like that. I mean, you work on that like for 3 months and then it goes away in like 2 weeks and nobody talks about it anymore.
Yeah.
So changing from that to this, it has been like really, really awesome. And a totally different life experience because I used to be like only like a credit, a few letters in some web page of some studio where I did the commercial.
Or some billboard or something, or who cares?
Have you ever had a piece that you did and you were just like, when you finish, you're like, yo, I fucking crushed this.
Never.
You were like, this is gold, right?
Never. Not even
never. I don't think that's going to happen ever.
Well, at least we know you're humble. That's good to know.
No, yeah, but it's not about humble. I mean, it's about like trying to get better, to improve myself. To do the best I can every time.
Hey, Franco, let me ask you this. So you do this freelance work, but you have to have seen statues first. Like, did you like see sideshow pieces back in the day? Like, how did you even get interested in it?
Well, it's kind of, I mean, the first piece that I saw from sideshow, because again, in Mar del Plata, there were no statues ever.
Right.
Was when I was in a trip for business in Ecuador. I saw this Joker. I think it's the one that Martin Canale did, and it's funny enough, Martin Canale is from Argentina, so I didn't even know. But the first piece I saw was this Joker. The one with the, how do you say, baston? Shit. No, the one that is standing with the hands.
Oh, premium format, is it?
Premium format, right?
Yeah, with the cane.
Right? That's the one. Thanks. So I saw that many years ago, but I was like, oh, this is so cool. But I never felt like I had the capacity, the ability to work doing that, because most of the work that I did was mostly like cartoon characters, stuff like that. So I wasn't like, I don't know, for some reason that just didn't come up to me. And after a few jobs that I started doing for, I think, Plenty, a company back in Buenos Aires, it was a commercial for the Brazilian Olympics, the Olympic Games in Brazil.
Okay.
And there, let me, if I can look for the, let me check. I think it's there we go. I did like 10 characters. There were like all these players, and they had to. There we go. Let me share the screen.
All right.
I'm sharing the screen. No, I'm not.
Not yet.
There we go. Share the screen. There we go.
There you go.
So I did these 10 characters. They were like all done in like probably 2 months most. And they were like printed, and after they were printed, they filmed them. So that was like super cool to me, to see that thing that I did in like the physical realm. See, here are the other characters.
Oh, so you designed those? That's cool, man.
I did them all. Yeah, I did all the players.
What's the edition size on those?
No, I think they were like 1/4 scale. Something like that. Yeah, they were big. And after this, I was like, like kind of itching. I mean, oh man, this is so awesome. I mean, I would love to do something like that. And from, I don't remember exactly why, I ended up contacting Daniel Bell, just because I was looking for, to get to know some people of the industry or stuff like that, because back there in my hometown, I was like the only guy doing this. So I contacted him.
He's from Argentina as well, right?
Yeah, he's from Argentina. Yeah, he's more from Escobar. I think it's closer to the capital.
Okay.
And I think he just was starting doing some pieces for XM or something like that.
Mhm.
And we start talking and getting to know each other, and he started to introduce me to this world of the collectibles. And I was
So I didn't realize that you guys had a relationship, and that's kind of how you.
Yeah, we dated back in the day, but don't tell his wife.
Yeah.
So kind of on that note, who are like your 3 top favorite sculptors out there? Like whose work do you enjoy the most?
Well, I can tell one is Simon Lee, Spider Zero. It's really cool work.
Mm.
Then you got Alex Oliveira. There is a Brazilian guy. It's super. Yeah, he does really amazing jobs.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoy the Shiftless Brothers work. But they are not. I mean, they don't actually work for collectibles mostly. But the Shiftless Brothers do. But it's more like, I think, more kind of artistic kind of style.
Right. I like more realism. Did you say Alejandro Piera?
No. It's Alex Oliveira.
Oh, okay. Because I like Alejandro as well, man. I think he did. He did Cable right there, I believe. He did the Weapon X joint.
Oh, your customer?
Yeah. So Franco, what program is this that you sculpt in?
Use software called ZBrush. That is actually the
ZBrush, right? Yeah, that's what most people use, right?
Yeah. It's the lead. It's the lead.
So does it give you a default like male character like this?
Yeah, it has something. Yeah, but this is something I have done.
Okay.
Like a base match, with the proportions, stuff like that, so to make it faster.
That kind of looks like my physique a little bit.
Yeah,
it's exactly the same, man.
I recognized it from somewhere.
I got to get a Gem Mint statue made one of these days, man.
That would be cool, but I thought that the one on your right was you, right? It wasn't. Wasn't you?
Which one? This one, this Hulkbuster?
No, the other side. The guy sitting on the couch.
Oh yeah. That's what I'm going to Comic-Con has next year, man.
No, man, you will fit. That would be cool, yeah.
I just don't know if I want to shave my hair or not.
Why? It would grow back. Your hair's not even that long. It would grow back.
I'm just worried it won't fit.
Then it's like, no, fuck you.
Yeah, cosplay will be fun for sure.
So I got a question. So I'm a big like kind of fanboy, if you will. Is there a character that you haven't done yet that you want to, like someone you really want to work on and you haven't sculpted yet? I mean, who's your?
Yeah, I want to do. I would like to do a Batman.
Batman. Okay. No. So we've talked a lot about Batman in terms of being a hard sculpt to, or not like a hard statue to. He's just kind of he has to be in motion. He kind of has to be doing stuff because he's not like a real visually exciting character necessarily.
You know, I think he's tough to nail, and just like Spawn, I think Spawn is a difficult character to nail, maybe for those same reasons.
Yeah, I mean, their capes, you got to kind of throw in their, his batarangs and stuff like that.
Yeah, if you do, Franco does a Batman, I'm sure it'll be dope as hell.
Thank you. Oh yeah, but it's just because it's a character I really like.
Yeah, I always feel like artists do their best work when it's something that they like.
Oh,
not like a job.
When your heart's into it.
Yeah, I'm looking at your work. You're moving around. You're stretching out the nose, messing with the eyes here.
Yeah, I kind of have like right now. I got this reference. It's like from the new movie.
The new one, yeah.
Yeah, but I don't have anything from other angles, so I have to look for something different, maybe.
Hey, Franco, so we got a question from one of our boys in the chat. He says, do you sculpt the bones under and then the skin over when making the basic forms?
I usually have that, but I have, for example, a skeleton that I have already done. Just to keep the proportions. Mostly, not in this case, but mostly when you're posing the character, because this is done, actually, it's done when you're working with real clay. Because you do like this color, it's an armature that you do under the clay, and that way you keep the landmarks. You keep the shoulders, the distance from the elbow to the shoulder, and stuff like that. You keep it like consistent.
Yeah, but you only really need
that in 3D. Sorry, what?
No, I was gonna say you only need to really do it once, and you have a base that you just manipulate every time you start a new piece, right?
Yeah, that's the good thing about CG. The good thing is that we have this thing called symmetry. So you don't have to work like one side and then work the other one. You can work both sides at the same time.
Because if anyone who draws, you get that left eye good, then you try to do the right eye.
It's crooked.
It's crooked. Yeah, it happens to me all the time. You have to look at it in a mirror, and if you see it in a mirror and it's crooked, and you screw, you have to do it again.
So this base format you got right here, or the base body. What about for like other characters? So like for Hellboy, this fits. But like let's say like a Spider-Man, like a smaller, a younger character. Do you use a different base format, or a female character, or a non-human type character? What do you do with that?
Well, if it's something like that, like for example, a non-human character or something that you have to something that you have to start from scratch.
Like Ego.
This is called like. That's just a process that's called like Dynamesh. This is more like clay. This is doing what it wants, but there we go. Let me show you. For example, you can start
manipulating that ball.
Yeah, but it's just too high. Sorry. You can start, playing with the.
What you talking about?
You don't have like any restraints. You can just play with this like it's clay.
Yeah.
Pushing and pulling.
Hey Franco, so have you ever done any like traditional sculpting?
Yeah, but not good. Not any good, man.
You gotta stick to what you're good at,
right? I'm playing with super sculpting and stuff like that, but it's just for fun. Yeah, because I think it's a good thing to know. And it helps, if you learn it in digital, and it's good to try to apply it to the physical realm.
So let me ask you this, you're kind of in luck because it seems like the whole hobby has moved towards digital sculpting. So it's like got in, you're in at a good time, it seems like, right?
Yeah, but I don't know if it is luck. I mean, I've been looking at this for a long time. It's like when I was a young kid and I wanted to do, animation and stuff like that. It was only 2D drawings. But then Jurassic Park and Toy Story came along and then changed the game. So I was like, when I saw Jurassic Park and Toy Story, I was like, okay, yeah, I want to do that. That is the future, not like drawings.
So Jurassic Park and Toy Story, you're saying, right?
You got to adjust with the times, right?
Yeah, always.
Yeah, you're an artist, but then you see these CGI things. It's like, hold on.
I mean, it's like back in the day with, Michelangelo and Leonardo. They're all chipping and sculpting. Ain't nobody doing that anymore.
Yeah, exactly. So look at you going. You got this nose going on.
It's crazy, man.
You can make that jaw get lower so you can have like a more...
Yeah, this is like the same... I mean, obviously it's digital, no? But it's the same way you will sculpt with clay. I mean, this is like the same way I did the base body, but the thing is that it has a lot of technical stuff that you have to go through.
I see. Let me ask you. So, do you have a favorite like licensed statue that you just love? Is it that Joker because that's the first one you saw, or what do you like that's out there in the industry now?
Well, that's a tough question because there's a lot of stuff, and I really don't have a big preference. I really like the Martin Canale, the Lobo.
Yeah.
The old one?
That's the sideshow one, right?
The sideshow one, yeah.
Yeah, that's what
I like the character.
Lobo's your favorite character?
No, I don't have a favorite character, but I like the character. I mean, I had one comic from him when I was young. It was called like Lobo Prestige. Lobo. He was like against a ghost, and it was so freaking cool. But that's the only comic I remember from him. Just a few more, but that's the one that sticks in my head.
Yeah.
Hey, Franco, you got a shout out. Cheers from Costa Rica from someone who says his name's Jeff.
Jeff Vargas. Yeah, that's a cool dude. He's from a group that they took me in. It's called like Omega Customs. And these guys, when they saw my first work, they contacted me and we got to start talking, and they touch me. They teach me. I don't know how to say it in past. A lot about the sculpting business, you can say. It's him and a few other guys, but I don't know if I have to name them. I'm not naming it. These days you don't know. You know.
What was your first piece?
The Motherfucking Punisher.
Oh, that was your first one, huh?
The what?
The Punisher.
Oh, the Punisher.
Yeah.
The one you got spin back behind you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one.
So that Punisher, I didn't realize that you have a Wolverine that was designed to go with it, but I know that that's not going to happen or whatever. But originally, it was like 2 pieces that were companion pieces.
Yeah, that was the idea.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
I saw that on your
the
page.
idea. It was fun. I mean, I see it now, and it's like I see all the mistakes that I made, but it was my first child.
Right.
So you cannot love it anyway, you know. It's like all crooked and fucked up, but you still love it. It's your first child.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, it's a learning experience, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
you learn from, I would imagine.
I'm sure.
Yeah, you learn from each one.
So look at this. This ball is already taking shape.
I know.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is like, and you start how you. I mean, this is a mess, but this is how you start working on.
So are you sitting here right now looking at the picture you put up while you're doing this?
No, right now I'm just looking at the screen and looking at you beautiful guys.
Oh,
yeah, we kind of had him jump from the Hellboy thing to start from scratch.
Oh, I thought you were still doing the Hellboy face though.
No, we can do that. Yeah, we can do that for sure. I
Yeah.
have to take from a few references.
But damn, you just sculpted that nose out of nowhere. That shit looks legit.
I know, right?
But yeah, I mean, it's as you see, I mean, it's just pushing pixels, and
Yeah.
well, you do it enough that you end up getting good at it.
So do you think you have to have any artistic ability to be able to do digital sculpting, or is it something that anybody can learn?
No, I think you can learn. I mean, I think it's something that you learn with enough time and patience and perseverance and freaking a lot of hard work and hours sitting by yourself. You can do it for sure.
I mean,
the first time I started working in 3D, I was living with a friend in a small apartment, like a really, really small apartment. Mm-hmm. And the only thing I was doing was like practicing and studying 3D. I did that for like 2 years. I barely went out. It was like really focused, you know. It was a time when you couldn't find. Sorry, man. I'm just like talking all over you. Sorry, man. Go ahead.
I think you're being a little humble. I think maybe to do it on the computer screen, but I think you got to have an artistic eye, though, man. Like I think you still have to have it. I don't think I could do this, even like.
Oh yeah, but I think that
on this program.
You develop that because it's not like I was born with that. I developed it with years, with interest, with watching movies and seeing how the guys lead the scene.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you have to have some, at least creative interest, you know, some drive from inside that makes you to want to create stuff.
So, Franco, let me ask you, because right now I know you're doing freelance projects and you're killing it. Do you have any want to do anything for like those bigger companies like the XM Studios or Sideshow?
Yeah, man. Yeah, we will be fun for sure. Yeah, I mean, I'm a big fan of their work.
Mm-hmm.
So it will be fun to do something with them.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
Are you trying to get me a job?
if that's what you want, I would love to help you get it.
You're so nice.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess with that, your art, it will be seen by much more people, right? Because they do thousands of pieces, and they just have a big distribution.
Yeah, you get more exposure for sure.
More exposure, yeah. You know what I think? You know what I think? What takes talent? Like, yeah, you said anybody can learn how to sculpt, but to have that uniqueness that people will say that's a Franco piece.
That's what I'm saying. Like the artistic, creative eye. Like I don't have that, man. I'm not like that.
Well, you're born as hell.
Yeah, but I got my skill sets out of where I can outdrink anyone.
Play to your skills.
That's a good skill.
Yeah.
No, yeah, but I think that is something that you develop. That's the thing. I mean, because as you say, my like artistic sensitivities or abilities they come from every person, every piece of art that I ever saw that influenced me. It's not that they all come from one thing. So I think that all artists influence each other, and we all like kind of end up like stealing a little bit from one and from other, and that is what we create as our own style. It's not that it's something that you have to look for.
Do you ever look at like someone else's piece and be like, no, I really like how that guy's how he does his nose, and then you try to do mine more like that, or I like the upper body on his pieces on this. Do you ever kind of like really appreciate the way someone else does an aspect of the sculpt, and then you do it as well?
Get inspired.
Yeah, all the time. Yeah. Yeah, all the time. Yeah, that's exactly that. And these days you see a lot of art like everywhere. You know, with this social media stuff, you can find it everywhere. So that's super cool. It's amazing. I mean, I think it's the best time in human history to be an artist.
Yeah.
You got, yeah, you got.
It's like, it's almost like music. Like, it's good and bad. It's oversaturated because anybody can put their shit out there, and you got to stand out. But if you can stand out, you can be seen by millions of people.
Well, I think it has a lot to do with like just, you know, globally connected these days. You know what I mean? Like, so we can see work from Franco in Spain right that you wouldn't have been able to see 20 years ago. Like, you wouldn't have known.
Never would have seen this.
No, yeah, it's amazing. I mean, I would have never seen you guys talking about comics and collecting and sharing the same interest, you know. And
yeah, what would you have done with your life if you couldn't watch 4 hours of us drinking, talking comics?
I don't know. I would be lost, man. I would be completely lost.
Yeah, so Franco, that's your Silver Surfer. I was looking at the page, actually. I know we're looking at your screen, but this Silver Surfer is you. I'm looking at it right now. Let me see. Where he's coming out of this like vortex, right?
Oh, that's dope. Yeah. I like
that was a cool idea. Working on. I came up with the idea of the vortex and designed it, and that was fun to do. To figure out a shape that looks cool, but it's still like something a good base that can hold the Silver Surfer.
I feel like Surfer is kind of a tough one too, because I mean, obviously, going with the name Silver Surfer, you got to kind of come up with a base that contrasts a little bit. You know what I mean? It gives a little bit of color to it as well.
Yeah,
that looks dope. I like that.
Excellent. yeah, that was a fun one for sure. To figure out the composition of everything.
Franco, do you collect any statues or just your own?
No, at the moment, just my own. And what I collect is comics. What I really like is comics. I'm mostly lately into like different kind of stories, not so superhero style. I mean, I got, for example, obviously the Dark Knight. I have and think that I'm living here as a newbie, so it's not like I brought my collection from home. I'm buying stuff again. But I got the Kingdom Come. You're not seeing on the comment.
Hey, real quick, Franco. I'm going to show these guys your surfer.
Oh yeah.
You're doing that. So just to give them an idea of some other stuff that you do, because I know I showed a lot of X-Men, but here's your Silver Surfer, and it's spot on, man.
That's awesome.
Thanks, Mike.
Spot on for sure, and it's big too. You know, I saw a picture of a printed Iceman next to a printed Silver Surfer.
Same ones?
Yeah, actually. I don't know if I can find it, but the Iceman is huge. I'm gonna find a picture.
No, don't.
No, all right. We gotta be careful this day and age, man.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. Anyway, so I'm showing them this. Let's go back to you.
What's your holy grail comic? You said you collect comics. What's your?
Oh, there is one that I really love. I want to show the screen. Give me a second. So not the screen. Sorry.
Yeah.
Wait. There we go.
Yeah, I don't know why, but it makes me really happy to know that you're a comic fan.
Oh, it makes me so happy.
Well, I got this one again because I never finished reading it.
Yeah.
I never finished reading it, so I need to finish reading this one. But this comic that I really like, that is like freaking crazy, is from, where the hell is it? Let me check for a second. There we go, buddy. This guy. This is from Alejandro Jodorowsky. It's called The Meta Barons. And if you like different stories, this is really freaking cool. And this is illustrated by Juan Jimenez. He's from Argentina also. And this guy, Alejandro Jodorowsky, he's a super crazy old guy now. But there is a movie about him. It's called Jodorowsky's Dune. And if you like pop culture and knowing like really cool stories, you should see it, because it's about this movie that he wanted to do that was never made, but it's called like the best movie never made. And it's the guy that introduced Giger to the cinema, to the cinema scene. This guy he wanted to do this movie a long time ago, before Star Wars. It was like a big space opera, but it never got to do it. And he used some of those ideas and he applied them to comics. That's super cool. And this comic, the Meta Barons, it's just so fucking cool. It's about well, it's about these guys. It's about like a whole family. That's what I call the Meta Barons. And to be a Meta Baron, you have to do these certain kind of things, and this is just fucking crazy. The art is beautiful. And you don't have to see. Look at the art. I mean, I don't know if it's going to focus fast, but the art is so cool.
That guy looks like Cable a little bit.
Yeah, it does look good.
Yeah, they do. But if you haven't checked and you want to read something different, you should check it.
Hey, man, that's cool. I'm glad to see that.
Buy the original one because they are like releasing a new storyline, so you don't get it confused.
Gotcha. That's awesome, man.
Yeah, that's a comic that I really like.
Yeah, it would really upset me if someone was like, "Hey, will you do a Silver Surfer?" and you weren't a comic book fan, and you were just like, you looked at some picture of Silver Surfer and you made it. I'd be like, "This guy's a bum."
Yeah, I feel like your heart wouldn't be into it.
Yeah.
Hey, so you know what?
I mean, I always like, for example, I have this. Oh man, we can start rambling a lot. Yeah, there is people watching, so I have to be careful with what I say. There are a lot of things that I would really like to do, and as a comic book fan, sometimes I get these ideas of how I would love to represent the character. And a lot of time, I'm working on some of those ideas, but those ideas, most of the time, are going to end up being like only an image. But I'm super fun with that. But for example, I have this idea of something that I want to do with Captain America. I'm being just starting playing with that. I got this idea for the Devil what I want to do with him. I got this idea of Batman that I would like to try. And it's all about being a fan, and it's all about that look in you guys when you get the piece, and when you open it up and you sit there and you stare at that and you get that warm feeling inside of like when you were a little kid and you were reading that freaking comic that blew your mind. Yeah. That is so freaking cool for me at least. It's like a great connection because I'm here, man, working like 15-hour days here. You know, this is like, I mean, it's a good place, but I'm here all the time. So just doing this interview and being out there and being able to talk with the people that enjoy my work, that's super humble, and I'm really grateful about that.
Hey, Franco, so we have a YouTube user named Juicity. How do you say it? Goocity says, "Tell my brother-in-law Franco he's a badass. His sister says hi."
The whole fam came out to watch you right now.
Yeah, probably.
That's good, man. So we got Franco on the show, and I feel like Franco's gonna blow up, man. Like he's got these designs, he's got some pieces coming out that I'm gonna get. That I see you doing big things in the future, man. So I'm kind of like happy to catch you now because I feel like you're not gonna be picking up my phone calls a year from now.
Don't worry, but yeah, man. No, I don't. I mean, thanks.
Well,
it's a nice sentiment, but
I like the personality, man. I think you got like the spirit. I think you got like the hearts in it, and that's what appeals to me too. You know,
for sure.
Thanks, buddy.
The thing with Franco is like he's in the community, man. I've seen him. We were Immortalizing Stone was on last night, and Franco's in the chat and the comments, and so I mean that's cool, man. It's like one of us,
Right.
That's how it feels. So
we got another question. A Sogli, I'm not even trying to pronounce it.
No, don't pronounce it.
Is that half glove so you don't mark the pad when you draw? What is that?
No, yeah, it's half glove. Just to to go through the screen because I'm working on a Cintiq.
Yeah,
that's when you work on the screen. Exactly for that, just to go smoothly.
Like a Michael Jackson type thing?
Yeah, I thought it was like his Michael Jackson.
Exactly the same. Yeah. I'm grabbing the other hand.
So you got like a pad, like a tablet kind of thing that you manipulate this, right?
Yeah. It's here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I want to get my daughter something like that, man.
Oh, so you don't move the screen while you're drawing? Is that what it is?
No. Yeah, it's like that. Yeah, it
doesn't affect.
Yeah. It doesn't move the tool.
Cool.
Yeah, so people found it. Some people in the comments are saying Franco's going to be a household name. A lot of people are agreeing.
That's nice, man. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, so yeah, damn, man. I wish I could talk more about some of the stuff, but anyway, so of the render,
and there is some things that I have done that you not even you have seen. There is some, like, you can say, alien and creature stuff that I have done.
so I saw that on your page, and I was going to ask you, do you prefer to do more original ideas, or do you like to do comic stuff more?
Well, it's like two different things. I really like and enjoy and want to do more like of my original ideas and stuff. But having the opportunity to play with these characters that I really love from when I was a kid and I still do, it's like really enjoyable.
Yeah, hey,
it's really nice to be able to create something personally and know that people actually like it, because that's something that I did for fun. Yeah.
So, Franco, I got this thing on the screen now of yours, the Hunter. It looks like this white alien kind of thing.
Yeah.
Is this an original idea? Is this your creation?
Yeah, that's all from my head, from my twisted little head.
You got a little bit of sick head going on there.
You creepy AF.
Oh man,
That's a dope thing. It's a dope creature. I like that. Let me see what other shots of it you have here. So that's cool, man. Like, damn. So you got to have some kind of creativity, man.
Of course, yeah, man. Damn,
that's crazy. Oh yeah, here goes Carlesimo Originals.
Yeah, that's the idea of what I want to name the brand. You can say, because it's a different world now, and with the internet and Instagram and all those kind of things. I mean, you really have to get out there and show your work and be present. Try to call people's attention if you want to.
Some people are asking if the alien stuff is still for sale.
Well,
which one? No, I'm looking into producing these guys.
You are looking to?
Yeah, this one and the red one. Well, actually, I have the red one. There's like a small prototype that I printed. That I did it, in here with a cheap printer, just to look it around and to see how it in 3D and see how it works. And my wife is kind of painting it. It's like really like a base color, just to have an idea.
You put her to work.
Yeah, did you say your wife paints it for you?
Yeah, my wife paints. Yeah, because she's a makeup artist and she's like, how do you call it in English? Like an art teacher.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. So it's like a family business almost, kind of.
Well, that's what I want to do, make it.
Frank, I mean, the sky's the limit, because I look at people like Eric Sosa, man. You start doing commissions, then you start working for big companies, then you have your own company, get your own license. You know, there's a lot that can be done, man, and you definitely have what it takes, bro.
That's a lot, man. I mean, I would like to work doing this forever, obviously. But if I have to work and do dildos, I will do dildos. I don't care. I will make it the best dildo ever. I will.
Hey, that's a good job right there,
man. That's a big industry.
Yeah. $1 billion industry.
Yeah, man, it is. So you never know. For now,
that's funny, man. So I'm looking to see if I had any other questions, man. Let me see. So
I kind of want to wait till
we get something nice here, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to.
Oh, where are we at on that Hellboy? Let's see where we're at.
I think we gave up on Hellboy, huh?
No, don't worry. You just keep talking and I will keep working here. Don't worry.
All right, so let me see here. So, what do you got?
Well, my question is more like a tail end of the interview question, so I'm going to hold on that one.
I don't know if I have any. So this is a good opportunity. If anybody in the chat has any questions that they want to ask Franco, anything about sculpting, anything about statues, it'll be a good time. Actually, Franco, what I wanted to ask you, we got a couple people in the chat that are aspiring artists and sculptors. Do you have any advice for like new artists?
Just start sculpting, man. Just start doing it.
Get to it, right?
Yeah, get to it. I mean, just get to it. Stop wasting time. Stop making excuses. I mean, just do it. Because this is something that takes time. It's not going to be easy. You're not going to get it right the first time. But if you are passionate enough and you work hard enough, you will eventually get there.
Yeah, that makes sense, because you said you put a lot of hours in practicing, so you just got to get going, right?
Yeah. I put a lot of hours, man. I tell you, I mean, I go to bed usually. I'm a freelancer, so I go to bed usually like probably 5 a.m.
Yeah.
And I wake up around 10, 11 at most, and then start working again.
Let me ask you a question. How up to date do you keep with like the computer programs in here? Are you always seeing what news out there and like new programs you can use and stuff like that?
Well, luckily, I mean, doing this, I only have to worry about ZBrush mostly because when I used to do the other job, I will have to be like on the lookout for every new plugin, every new way of doing some stuff.
Right. Yeah, it's hard to keep
that was crazy. That was crazy and hard and stressful because when you get the hang of a program, you're working with the software, and suddenly there is something that is going to do that like 10 times faster, so you have to learn it because it's demand on the pipeline of the company you're working for or whatever. So yeah, that was like a big thing, and I have to say I ended up being like kind of stressful the last few years.
We have somebody in the chat asking, what football do you follow?
No, I'm sorry, I never follow football. Yeah, football over there is soccer,
No, well, soccer. That's what I mean.
Spanish football.
Soccer. I don't follow soccer. I'm going to lose a lot for Argentinians, but I don't care about Messi. He lives here in Barcelona. I don't give a fuck about Messi.
We have a strong stance on this channel that we say fuck soccer.
Fuck soccer.
No, I'm just joking. No, we just don't watch it. I don't watch it either. But
I don't think I'd say fuck soccer in Spain though. I don't want to get killed.
No,
or South America. No, thank you.
No. Never say that over there, man.
I see you're making the horns now. Dang, that's crazy. So the horns on the new Hellboy look a lot bigger than the ones on the first two movies, right?
What the pic you just showed?
Yeah.
I didn't really notice them.
I noticed right away. I was like, damn, those should seem way bigger.
I always like it when they show the full pic.
Yeah, that's gangster. I like that, man. So. My man Tim said, "Wow, Franco fits in well." When the guy in Spain saying "fuck soccer"
as he's locking his front door.
I don't think anybody from here is watching.
Hopefully not.
Yeah, probably
hopefully not. Hopefully yes is what you should be saying.
Okay, wow. So you're making the beard. You're just doing like little swipes to like dig in.
I mean, this is not like the proper way of doing it, probably, but it's like the first pass. When you start working on this, you just want to worry about getting the general form, the feeling of the character.
Yeah, look at this right away.
I don't really need to.
Wolverine chops right there too, man.
Yeah, you got the mutton chops.
Got that mutton.
He's starting to look like Hellboy, though. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah. That's the thing. I mean, you realize that his hair, the horns, and everything, that those are the parts that make the character. So you have to get them in to convey that it's Hellboy.
Was it?
Yeah.
Franco, is this that sphere that you were molding that you made it into Hellboy?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Damn.
Yeah, that's from the sphere.
Are you a Hellboy fan?
I never read actually the comics. I really want that to because for what I hear, they are really good. But I love the movies. I love the Guillermo del Toro universe.
I think the comics are way better than the movies, but
that's what I heard.
It's a lot darker of a tone, much more artistic.
Yeah, that's what I heard. So that's why I would like to give them a read sometime.
We got Archangel.
Too many things, man. I have a lot of things that I would like to do and read, and you just can't do them.
Not enough hours in the day, right?
Yeah.
Archangel in the chat says, "I'd take that as a statue right now," and he isn't even done.
Give him a Viking bearded adventures. I was just gonna ask him something. I lost it though. I forgot. Damn, I had a good question too.
You got a good question? You forgot? You lost it?
I forgot it.
Don't worry.
I got to remember to keep talking because I could just kind of keep watching you sculpt this thing.
So, side note, since we're kind of just filling the time or watching you just do masterpieces here. You've been watching this new Daredevil season? You're going to be watching Daredevil on Netflix?
Yeah, I really like the first one. Oh, I freaking love Kingpin. It was so fucking with some fist.
Yeah.
It was so good, man. I don't want to spoil it.
Have you started watching?
It's been years. But dude, the scene when you realize why he loves that fucking painting, my heart just crushed. That was so well written, man. That was so well screened. That was
Oh, I remember. Are you watching, Franco? You watching the season 3 just came out last night?
No, man, I'm here with you sculpting.
Hey, you know what? I heard that somebody's going to try to get you to sculpt a Deadpool. Can you comment on that?
I didn't hear anything about that.
No comment. All right, I get it.
So I'm
really pushing, man. I'm looking at you. He's really pushing, man.
Me or the?
Yeah, you.
Hey, if you can't talk about it, you can't talk about it.
He wants insider info. Can you blame him?
Yeah. I can tell.
Exclusive right here.
So, Franco, of the pieces that you sculpted, I have a couple of them coming in. You want to hear which ones?
If you want, yeah, you can tell. Yeah. No.
So, I got that Rogue piece coming. I got Iceman. That Wolverine, the X-Force Wolverine with the hand. And what else did he do? I don't think.
What you got coming in?
Let me check my thing real quick. Hold on.
You check your thing, man. Yeah.
So let me ask you this. So like when somebody like you saw the video that I did for the Morbius, right?
Yeah, I saw your comment. It was a nice video. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you. Yeah.
So that's got to be Psylocke I got coming too. So that's got to be something to see. Like, okay, you did this, you designed this work, and now some stranger on the other side of the world is unboxing it and giving their opinion on it. Is that like a nerve-wracking thing to watch, or what is that like?
No, I mean this is not for me, because first of all, my wife is like my worst critic.
Yeah, I get that.
So yeah, I mean, so yeah, I don't think anybody can say anything that she hasn't said already.
I can relate to that on a deep level, Franco.
Yeah, I get you. So yeah, and I mean the only thing is like I hope they like it. I mean I hope they're happy with what they got, and I hope they really enjoy it. And as much as I enjoy sculpting it.
Hey, so let me ask you this: the Morbius piece has like 4 heads.
Yeah, I think it's 5.
So is that a challenge to create these different expressions, or is it fun? Because it seems like
it's fun, man. It's fun. It's like not being able to decide which one is better. So it's like going like, yeah, do them all. Like
that's like the icing on the cake.
Yeah.
Like do them all. There you go.
When you let me ask you this: so as a sculptor, do you key the renders, or is that done somewhere else?
No, in this case, I am not doing the keys.
You don't do it. You don't break it up.
Yeah, I kind of break it up, but don't do the keys.
Okay, I get you. But I
know how to because I have to do them for my personal work. But yeah, I don't do them. If I cannot do it, I won't.
I got you. So I've seen I've only seen Marvel pieces from you. You haven't done any DC things that we've seen, huh? Not yet. Can't talk about it. All right. Next question.
Okay, so like I said, I'm not a big statue guy, but I love seeing. I like coming over and just looking at gems and enjoying his.
Well, he gets to enjoy
because he doesn't have to pay for them.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the best way to collect.
It's amazing. Yeah. But what I would be interested in, I want to see, and I'm just a big Nova fan. Richard Rider, our boy Dick Rider. Out there, like a Richard Rider from Annihilation Nova, just exploding onto the scene, Nova Prime. That's something I think I would be really interested in.
And why are you telling me of this?
What you do?
What do you want him to do?
You create dreams.
Oh man.
Yeah, probably that would be cool.
So if you want to commission him to make one, then we can talk after the show. Look at this. So we're making a little design in the horns. So you almost got to do like when you cut a tree in half.
Yeah, kind of like that. That's the way it looks. Kind of like bark.
Fun fact: that's how you can tell how old the tree is by how many rings.
I know.
Yeah. It was just a fun fact.
Is that how you?
I love it. Yeah, little fun facts.
Can you tell how old Hellboy is by doing the same thing?
Yeah, exactly. How many years from hell he's
been? I mean, probably. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Oh man. So Franco's with us live, sculpting Hellboy.
Do you keep up with the movies that come out? Like, did you see the recent Venom?
All of them, man. Yeah, I went to see Venom. I'm a fucking comic book. I really like it.
You're saying all the right thing.
I'm so freaking happy, man. I'm so freaking happy that I'm living in this day and age.
Right?
I can go to the cinema and see my motherfucking Venom. Like,
yeah,
that's so fucking freaking cool, man. Sorry about
the Dakota ring is in the mail.
Yeah,
don't worry.
You're part of the club, Franco.
Oh man, but I love it. I mean, yeah, it's not the best movie ever, obviously, but it's freaking Venom. Well done. I mean, not that the Spider-Man 3 one that was so disappointing to me. That was so disappointing to me. But yeah, man, I was like, oh man, now I'm going to have to wait like 10 years to see another Venom.
Right.
Later, we have another Venom.
The visual of Venom was spot on.
Yeah,
that's about all I can really say.
Yeah. I mean, I get it, but the scene where he's like getting, with all the cops, all the smoke and all that, that was cool, man.
That was awesome.
Yeah. And the 13-year boy inside me was like, yeah.
I think that they were kind of crazy to use Riot as the villain because nobody really knew who Riot was.
It's classic Marvel, like villain is matching the hero.
Yeah, what do you think about that, Franco? In a lot of comic book movies, the villain is the same kind of character as the hero.
Yep, I know. But yeah, that's a classic trope of comics. It's like they have the same powers, but it's reverse and stuff like that. But the thing is that Riot, it's like much bigger and this really menacing guy. So I don't know what they're going to do now with Carnage. Because the cool thing about Carnage is that he's freaking crazy and he's like the Joker with that symbiote. That's about it. That's why they created it.
And the thing with Riot, he made the same type of weapons with his.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing. I don't know what they're going to do now. But
the thing with Carnage, he has to go on a killing spree. That's what kind of separates him. He's psychotic.
It's got to be murder.
He's got to be murdering.
It's got to be mass murder.
Yeah, but it's going to be a PG-13, buddy. So it's not going to do that.
Yeah, I mean, Venom was still biting heads off, even though it was PG-13.
Yeah, that was cool. That was cool, but no blood, nothing. It's like, nice, good, yeah.
Hey, so we got an artist question for you. Glenn Galdamez asks or says, I have a portfolio geared towards games as a character artist. I always wondered what you needed to gear your portfolio towards to get hired for statues. Any advice?
Well, I guess, what I did was I did the statues, and I print. The first thing that I actually did was a Wolverine that I printed myself to show that I was able, or capable to do a full figure, do the king, and being, good enough to be molded and casted and everything like that. So I did a Wolverine that I spread in all different parts, did the king, and then printed in a FDM printer, like a cheap printer,
right?
Just to call some attention to myself. I did that, and after that, I got a few clients, and then started from there. As I have done with everything. When I wanted to work with illustrations, I start doing illustrations and posting them, and then I start when I wanted to do animation, I started doing animation and doing. That was like, I think we had like Blogspot in that time or something like that, and it's been always like that. Like if you want to do something, it's not like they're going to call me because I want to do it. I have to show that I can do it first.
You know what it almost seems like when you apply for a job, you got to tailor your resume for the job you're getting. So if you wanted to apply for Sideshow, you probably would show them a bunch of Marvel statues that you've designed. If you were trying to apply for like Pop Culture Shock, you would show them Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat stuff or whatever, right?
It's the same thing. It is that you're looking for a job, so you have to, as you say,
You're not going to apply to mathematician job and talk about your history at McDonald's as your resume.
What's a mathematician job?
You never seen Good Will Hunting?
I have not.
What?
That's a good movie.
This is the world I live in, Franco.
I haven't seen.
You ain't seen shit. It's a gangster movie.
That's about Barnum.
I've seen all the gangster movies. Franco, what's your favorite genre of movies? Do you like more sci-fi, comic book? What kind of movies do you like?
Well, it's kind of mixed. I think it would be sci-fi because I really like creatures and monsters. I love the comic books one, but that's like a new genre.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's sci-fi. It's always like the best for me. It's like Alien and Predator, all those kind of movies. And I don't know. From when I was young, I was like, I really love like Labyrinth, Never-Ending Story, the Crystal, Dark Crystal, all those kind of movies.
And shit.
Franco, did you see the new Predator movie?
Not yet, right? I want to see it. I just didn't have the time because I was really busy. But I will get to it as soon as it's like.
Don't be in a hurry. It sucked.
Oh yeah, I know, but it's him, so I want to see it.
Yeah.
I have seen all the AVP ones, and they suck too.
But I like the AVP ones.
No, you don't.
No, you don't.
Okay. They were better than this new Predator.
Yeah, the new one sucked.
They're fun because it's the only time you're ever going to see an alien versus a predator.
Right. It's cool. I like to see.
Kind of fun.
I like when you mix movies together like that.
Like Freddy versus Jason.
But I never saw that.
Oh, that's a good one too. I like that one.
Yeah, that's a fun one. Yeah, that's like a good progression, right?
What about you into video games at all, Franco?
I would love to, but I don't have the time. But
No time,
I mean,
right?
if I have to choose between sculpting and playing video games, I'm always going to choose sculpting because I start playing video games. I start like looking the models around and going like, oh, that's cool, man, and they shot me every time. So it's like I don't. Yeah, doesn't make sense to me to play video games.
See, this is crazy. You're getting like the neck muscles in the back. This is something I wouldn't even think about. Like,
right.
Oh, fuck it. I'm going to skip the back neck muscles.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I ain't got time for the back neck muscles.
No, you got to get everything there. But it's just like a really fast layout, everything here. It's not like I'm trying to get the likeness. The likeness is like something like it's really hard to get a lot of times.
Yeah, because you're not really using any reference material for those neck muscles. Are you just going off memory for that?
No, right now it's just out of memory.
Wow. Yeah.
But when you want to refine it, it's a good idea to go with some reference because you can get the general shapes by memory. That's a thing that you can do. But if you want to get better, it's not going to come from your imagination. I mean, it's the best way to get better is to see reality and copy from reality.
And you said you'll use reference from whatever, if it's a comic or a real life or an anatomy book, whatever you got to do, right?
Yeah, to get the job done, yeah. What's going on, man?
Oh, no.
I saw you there.
No, I was going to say, like, I was looking at these neck muscles, and like now that you're getting them, I'm thinking, like, yo, if you ever did a render of me, don't leave out the traps, bro. I'd be super pissed if you downgraded me on the traps.
No way, man.
So, Franco, do you prefer, is it easier for you to sculpt a male character or a female character?
No, I think for me, they are both in the same level of hardness, or whatever you gotta say. You have to say it, but they are hard for me.
Does your wife
give me one, right? Oh,
yeah. Does your wife get mad at you if? No, yeah, Manimal's going to
sometimes.
Oh, because my wife would be like, "Wow, do you want me to look like her? What is that all about?"
No, this is like idealized styles, like the canons of beauty. So it's nice to do like the real like sexy girl and all that, but I think it's more interesting to do like something more realistic, like with a different kind of anatomy, with a more realistic anatomy. Those old girls with big breasts and tiny waists and big booty,
realistic.
Yeah, because it's more interesting for the sculptor at least.
And let me ask you this: so we saw a couple of your renders where you had sentinel hands. Is it hard to like do those type of machine type of renders?
It's not hard because I've been doing that style of work for a long time, but it takes time. That's the only thing. Because I usually do that kind of like what it was called like box modeling or poly modeling. It's a different type of modeling.
Right. Yeah.
I do a lot of the parts doing this, but it's not like the same style of working.
I got you. Manimal just came through with a blue moon run.
That's good. I'm in my second one. I'm almost finishing my second one.
You gotta catch up, man. We're on 3.
You're on 3? Ah, man, give me a second.
No, so this is off? That's fine?
Yeah, we're not using that. We're using that.
Okay, yeah, I saw I turned and looked and see the light on the microphone.
Yeah, because we have to have headphones on. I don't want to have to be all.
Yeah.
Anyway.
There we go. Number 3 is on.
So real quick, while we're cracking beers, let's give some love to the chat. We got my man Cheap Ass Statue Collector, my man Archangel. We got Statue Collecting, Captain Picard. We got Brian O'Rourke, my man Asterix, Robert Incredible. Who else we got in here? Yeah, so we went live a little bit. Oh, K-Dog's in here. But we went a little bit earlier than normal because the time difference. So a lot of people are going to watch this on the replay.
Yeah, I mean, it's Friday. It's still kind of work hours here.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, but this is. I mean, we can go on, but starting like now would
right.
Like,
no, I totally get. No, we definitely gotta make it feasible for everyone to join. What up, Pedro Ortiz? Truman's been holding it down, moderating all day. What up, Truman?
Yo, so you were talking about you collect, but and you're still reading like current stuff. Are you getting singles as they come out weekly, or are you just pretty much sticking to collected editions, trade paperbacks, omnis, that kind of stuff? Where do you get your
I never have done the weekly thing.
No,
I prefer to. Yeah, I'm doing that, but it's not weekly. It's like through like 3-4 months with the new Metabarons story, but it's not the same. It's not the same writer, so it's not the same. Okay. Not the same kind of story. But I'm doing that only with that one. But with the rest, I prefer to have it like all compact in one thing, one story, one book, and that's always better for me.
I'm with you on that, Franco. You know me, I'd like to collect those collected editions, and that's it.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
I just can't wait, man. If I wait for an Omni or a collected to come out, the story gets ruined for me by someone, or I'll read like and I hate the idea that it's out there, the story's out there, and it's just sitting there waiting for me to be read.
See, I would hate waiting week to week or month to month to find out what's happening next.
It sucks too.
Yeah, well, it sucks either way. Hey, so my man Gektex is in the chat has a question, and I don't know if you're able to answer this because we kind of mentioned it before, but he's saying, what's your 5 favorite statues of all time from other artists?
No, that's the thing. I don't really have one. I mean, I don't have like a ranking of that because
I get you.
It's hard for me. I mean, because when I see some statues, although I really love the work that they have done, it's like in my head, I always go, I wonder how would I have done that? Kind of like that.
Yeah, so you can't really enjoy it as a fan.
Yeah, it's kind of hard. There is, I think. Yeah, there are a few pieces from these guys that I told you about, the Sheffield Brothers, Simon Lee, that I really like. I will definitely buy, but it's a totally different style. It's not like comic book style.
Yeah,
it's like it's our original stuff. So I don't know why. I don't really have a.
Yeah, I think if you ask a musician, usually they don't listen to other music. They usually only do their own thing.
Well, that's the thing also, because I'm trying to stay away as much as possible from like pages like ArtStation and stuff like that. That ArtStation is a page where all the artists share the work, and I'm trying to stay away because I'm trying to get less influence. I have a lot of influence on me already. Right. So when you're surfing through those pages and you see somebody that have done something that is really cool, suddenly you go like, "Oh, that's cool, man! I want to do something similar." Or maybe not consciously, but you end up doing something that really ends up looking like that other guy's work.
Yeah, you subconsciously get inspired, and then maybe a little bit too much.
You start copying unintentionally.
Yeah,
that happens. Yeah, that happens. It's not intentional, but it happens. So I'm trying to stay away from that.
So when you're doing these, what's your favorite size? Do you like the quarter scale? You like the 6 scale? Do you like doing busts? I mean, what's your go-to? Which one do you prefer? What do you like to do the most?
I think that the quarter scale is like the perfect scale.
But when you sculpt, though, do you even think of that, though? Do you think of what's...
You have to think about that when you're doing like the texture work. When you're doing these shapes, you don't care about that because this can be printed like that and it can be printed like really big. But when you're doing the texture, like the parts, the texture on the cloth and the fabric and stuff like that, you have to think about that because it's going to go through a whole process, and if you don't get the textures deep enough, they're not going to come through the printer or the mold,
Gotcha.
So Brian O'Rourke has a question for you. He asks, does it take longer to rework or easier to start from scratch / basic template?
I think it depends on the piece, but probably it's going to be easy to start from scratch.
So if you did like, let's say after you do this Hellboy, 6 months from now or whatever, you decide to do another Hellboy, would you use this basic template or would you start from scratch? Would it be?
No, probably start from scratch because you want to. That's the thing. I mean, because I keep studying and keep trying to get better. In a few months, I am surely going to have some better knowledge that I have now.
New techniques.
So, so I'm going to. It's probably more fun for me to start from scratch.
Cool.
It's good to know. Somebody was saying, actually, my boy, Child of the Atom, that Sideshow should buy this and make it a life-size bust.
Yo, make a life-size bust with the full horns, though.
That would be crazy. So they have a statue like that called Darkness from Legend.
Yeah.
That life-size bust is dope, and its horns are like
the Tim Curry.
Yeah.
Well, this is, for example, I was doing just a personal project of Hellboy, because I don't remember the name of the artist. That's why I didn't want to bring it up. But I saw this guy that draw a Hellboy like medieval style. I was so freaking cool, man. I was so inspired by that work, so I started like doing my take on that. So maybe if I can find the file, I will show you. But it's like in the relaxed pose, in the pose, because I was like trying to design the cloth. And when you're doing this, you're designing the cloth. Oh my god, the cloth. So when you're doing that, it's better to work it as a T pose, a relaxed pose, so you can work on the symmetry better.
It's funny how you make these little tweaks that just look so.
I know. I was looking at like underneath the eye, like the cheek muscles right here, right now. It was just blowing my mind right now.
Thanks, Lay. So let's go with that.
So we got a question in the chat from Cass. We kind of talked about it a little bit when he asked how much engineering work is involved when you're sculpting, and you mentioned like you keep it in mind, like how is this going to be in real life, right?
Yeah, at least I do.
Like, okay, and he's asking especially for like dioramas, and some of your pieces are dioramas, like Iceman and Cyclops. And
you can say so because of the size.
Because of the size and everything that's involved. So you mentioned that you kind of have to keep an idea of how this will balance out, right? How this will key up and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. There is like a general idea, to just not to make the next people in line with the job crazy,
Hey, let me ask you this, Franco. How do you come up with poses?
I was gonna ask that question. How hard does that make it too? Like,
that's really hard, man. That's really hard because you have to tell the story in like one moment. So yeah, that's not easy.
Right. So
sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
No. Yeah, what I do is I usually try a bunch of different stuff. It's not like I go like, okay, this is the pose, and we're going to. I usually go and start posing in the character, really fast. Like you got this, for example.
Okay, yeah. Let's see how
you go like that, and you start like.
That was a nice little shuffle.
Yeah, a dancing queen, and you start working on the pose.
Hard.
It seems really hard.
It seems hard to make it natural.
Yeah, it is. I think it's one of the hardest parts. I mean,
especially because I think a lot of comic art is not natural. The way the movements are and stuff.
That was one of the things. Sorry, man. Go ahead.
No, I'm totally coming on you. I'm just saying that the medium is so different. Yeah, it's like you said. I was really intrigued by when you said you have to capture it all in one pose, one movement.
Right.
As opposed to a comic where you have
panels.
It's crazy.
This seems really hard to do.
Yeah, and it's not only about that. I mean, whoa! I lost my train of thought. What was? Awkward silence. I don't remember. I was going to say something really brilliant about the poses, but I don't remember.
But Manimal ruined it. He does it to me.
Yeah, man, it's all your fault. I don't know. It's about getting the right moment, just at the right time. That's why I really like Frank Frazetta work. He's an illustrator. If you ask me, what I like is more illustration guys, the sculpt guys. Most of the thing because it's what has influenced me the most. Like I really like Simon Beasley, Ciccioni. Oh, fuck! Talking live is not the same like talking to myself. A bunch of illustration guys. I really like the work. So I kind of a lot of times use that as a reference. I see work from Frazetta, for example, and see how he did that pose and try to apply that pose maybe to the character I'm working on.
Right. What do you think about like recreating comic book covers? Like, Sideshow did it pretty well with the Wolverine versus Hulk diorama or the maquette. Is that something that you're interested in doing? Any kind of recreation covers?
Yeah, it's fun because the fans always love that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a fun thing, and it's also a challenge because, as I told you, I mean, bringing that 2D design to 3D is not always easy.
Right.
It's usually not easy. So
and
doing that.
And to make it like engineered to make sense, like the Hulk versus Wolverine, you got to make it so that he balances on his shoulder and all this stuff.
Yeah, bro. To do.
So let me give a quick shout out to Jay Gone in the chat. My man Tack just came in a little bit late, but it's all good.
How much tinkering do you do? Like back to the poses, 'cause I feel like these poses are a very interesting like aspect of this. Like, do you ever finish a statue? Like, let's just take this Hellboy for example. You're all done with the way the body looks. I mean, how much time do you ever just say, man, I can't get this pose right? Like, how long do you tinker with it?
A lot, man. I think that the pose is like the hardest part because you got to get the flow right. You have to get the movement right. You have to get the physicality of it right. So it's really hard to get a feeling that it's moving. And sometimes it's the same. I mean, I'm looking at all this through a 2D thing. I'm looking at this through a monitor, even though it looks like 3D pixels. It's all 2D.
Yeah, and it's like this is like, let's say it's a quarter scale piece, but you're spending a lot of time on the eyelids. You know what I'm saying, to make sure that that's right. And I think that's a fine attention to detail, right?
Yeah, I mean, and it's fun to do. I mean, but all these, believe it or not, they came through they come through the print. You see them. So you see these little details because, for example, if you have this like as a plane, not as a car, the light is going to catch in a different way.
Right.
It's going to catch the light differently. Like if it is like all smooth, it's not the same.
So we have a question in the chat from Asterix. What's harder to create, muscle structure or clothing?
It's harder. I think for me, muscle structure.
Yeah, because you mentioned anatomy is always kind of like that thing that's the most difficult.
It's always haunting you. Yeah, it's always haunting me. Anatomy. It's like a ghost. I got it over my shoulder all the time.
So I'm looking at you when you were posing. You're showing us how you compose it. How the hell did you make that rogue statue?
With a lot of time and dedication, my friend.
So that's a good. So how many hours do you think it took you to create the rogue render?
The model, I don't know, because I think I spent probably 2.5 months maybe working on that one.
And that's like working at that shit all hours of the night. Like I know you.
No, not working every day because I get tired. If I'm doing that, I'm going to make some mistakes, probably.
Oh, so you got to take a step back.
Yeah, you got to. Yeah, because your mind plays tricks on you.
So is this is the easy part? You would say it's the once you have the product done and you want to actually get the pose and everything. That's the harder.
Oh, there's online. Yeah, no, some weird ad.
What's up? I think we lost. I think you cut out a little bit.
I cut out? No. A weird ad for girls online appear over there.
Yeah.
You missed it? You missed it, man. That was funny.
Oh no, there was something that popped up here. Yeah.
Yeah. Like
something. It was like an ad or something, right?
Yeah. It was like a chick. So it was like, what the?
Yeah.
So so ZBrush has built-in textures because I see like the texture you did on his cheekbone, right?
You mean yes? This called alphas. It's like stencils, probably, when you're doing working with real life. You got all the shapes.
Okay, I see. Oh, there we go. Yeah. Oh, that's cool. Girl.
Oh yeah, the thing is, so you got all this stuff. So you can use it. Like, I'm just doing this fast just to get some detail there, but this details is the last thing you do. The last thing you have to worry about.
The texture, right?
Yeah, text. Yeah. Because
Yeah,
the most important thing is like the overall shapes and forms and all that.
The big thing nowadays is the costumes. They have like different textures in every little section of the costume, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I guess that's something that digital sculpting has brought on, because with traditional you couldn't really do that, but now it's almost like the norm. Like I'm looking at the Sideshow Wolverine premium format, and he has these different textures and different sections, and I don't know. I guess that's just the new wave, right?
Yeah, because it allows you to get more detail in there. So it's not like it's that hard to do, actually. I mean, the harder part is to nail the pose and the proportions and all that. The fine detail, this micro detail, is like kind of easy to do, because it's like you're just stepping some alphas over there and you're done. And to do the noise, the textures and the noise, it's I don't know,
Hey, do you always?
You can do it like, let me show you this.
Yeah. Okay, I see you got the ball.
I mean, yeah, it's harder to do. It's not like that, but you do like this kind of stuff.
Oh, so they got presets in there. That's cool.
Yeah, you can do it yourself. But with this, you can do a texture for the clouds and stuff like that.
Can you make your own textures, like maybe like a bandana print or something?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what I do.
Oh, okay, cool. Somebody's asking, do you always start with the portrait, or do you ever do the body first?
I usually start with the portrait, because it's like it's more fun for me, at least, to work on the face, because it's where all the expressions, is where all the feeling you can get. But it's not mandatory. I mean, you can do it however you feel like.
Yeah. I like how you're putting this texture on the neck that gives it like a realism of like the skin look, right?
Yeah, it's like all that is like the final touches, but all this doesn't work if you don't have like the foundations. They are not correct. For example, I'm sure I'm fucking up here, but if you need to have the foundations right. After you do that, then it's just having fun and adding some skin pores and skin details and all of that. But don't worry if you're an artist and you're looking this. I mean, don't worry about the texture first. Just work on the general forms and try to get that right first.
Right.
Always. Because if a sculpt works from far away, I mean, if this works from there, then it's good. If you're like that and it's not working, adding details and all that is not going to make it better.
I gotta look good from far first.
Yeah.
That's a good advice right there.
This is a dope bust, though. This
so first of all, it's definitely it's Hellboy.
Yeah,
no doubt about
100%.
So let me ask you this: what about when you do like, let's say it's somebody holding fire? How do you do like elemental shit like that?
Oh, that's hard, man. Yeah, you have to figure out a way to do a representation of that. So what you do is you look for probably other people that have tackled the same thing.
Yeah.
And you kind of try to learn how they do their interpretation, and that's what I do. And then I try to figure out a way to do it myself.
Yeah, but what about when you do that? When you did that Iceman, you have like those icicles coming out of every little part of the whole slide.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that was basically almost done by one. And what I did was I did a few different like ice stripes.
Right.
I don't know. It's not stripes, but you know what I'm saying. You get it. I did some ice parts and some ice. How do you say it, man? What's the name?
Icicles, or?
Yeah, icicles. Okay, you can say that. I did a few of those different, and then what I did was say, let me duplicate this. It's going to do a quick save just in case we lose this.
Definitely say that this is dope.
Does your computer ever crash on you? Have you ever lost
every time, man. Yeah, but you actually lost a lot because this software is like really good at saving stuff.
Is this a Mac computer or is this a PC?
No, it's a PC.
So you got to control S every few minutes, right?
Yeah, I do it. But see, for example, what I did was something like that. After I did the shape of the ice part, you can say, I started like doing this, laying out.
So you made a little cube and then it's like a shard of glass or something, or
something like that. So I started doing this kind of stuff and and doing the composition myself of all the whole.
Yeah, I gave up a long time ago.
Well, that's the thing. It's something that takes time and dedication. That's for sure.
I gave up at the globe.
Yeah, the sphere, right? That's cool, man. Damn.
So yeah, I mean, he kind of looks like him.
Kinda, dude. This is like spot on. Are you kidding me?
Nah, it's definitely Hellboy.
So,
you know what I was wondering? Like, okay, so let's say this is one portrait, and you want to make like an open mouth portrait next. How easy is it to like open his mouth and make the teeth and all that?
You have to sculpt them. I mean, in this case, the way I did it, you just have to sculpt them. Because, like, for example, so I don't want to work on this mesh. I want to like duplicate it. You have a new one, and then you have to go ahead and sculpt it as an open mouth.
Oh, so you don't open it; you have to re-sculpt it. Oh, okay.
Yeah, in this case, yes. Sorry, what?
You kind of do. I mean, with the mouth part.
With the mouth part, but you're still taking whatever you've used as a head.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You're not starting with the globe again.
No. That wouldn't make.
That wouldn't make any sense because you're losing time. I mean, that's why I have a few base meshes, because if I'm going to do a superhero character, I mean, the proportions are going to be essentially the same. So it's not like you have to start from a sphere every time, because you're just wasting time. You have to do it just to practice, to get better, and all that. But when you're on a job, you're on a clock, you have to do it.
So I'm watching you do this Hellboy, and I'm still thinking about this Rogue statue. How the hell? How heavy is that shit gonna be, right?
Gigs, man, a lot of gigs. Size, I don't know. That's good luck.
Man, I can't wait. Your pieces are like masterpieces, man. It's not the regular stuff.
Well, you have to figure out a way to stand out.
Congrats, because you did it.
You did it. You got it.
Thanks, man. I kind of learned that from Todd McFarlane.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he has a lot.
Well, he's innovative.
I think it's an old documentary that he did, but he's talking about when he started working in the comic book industry and how he changed up, Spider-Man and stuff like that. And he was like, I wasn't trying to make it different. I mean, just because of the Sega, I was trying to, to get a name to stand out between all these guys.
Right.
So a lot of artists have like a signature, or something that is indicative of their work. Are you aware of anything of yours do you do anything? Or maybe even like an Easter egg? Do you have any kind of an Easter egg in any of your statues or something?
I wish, man, that would have been a cool idea.
Bro, you gotta get on it. That's an animal exclusive right there.
Now on, you gotta put a little FC somewhere.
Yeah,
or something. I don't know.
No, I haven't done that.
Something on the skull that doesn't get printed.
Exactly, man. Underneath the jawline or something.
So I know you've done a lot of X-Men stuff. It sounds you mentioned McFarlane. Are you a Spider-Man guy? Is that something that you're interested in getting into?
No, I like the character, but I like Todd McFarlane because of the way he built himself. You can say,
right?
It's like it's not going to, and it's not a hero, but it's like an influential guy. You
mean like even business-wise?
Yeah, business-wise and artistic-wise. I really like his work. I used to collect Spawn a lot, man. Spawn was freaking crazy. And that Billy Kincaid, I still remember those fingers on the wall, man.
With the popsicle sticks. That would be a dope.
Yeah, that was so crazy.
And he goes, what do you say? I made him scream and scream, scream.
Yeah. He made them scream, so I make him scream.
Oh, Franco knows. Okay.
Scream. Yeah, man.
I remember reading as a kid, being so freaked out about that character, man.
Yeah, me too. That's what I'm telling you. Yeah.
That shit was dark. Yo, Spawn was the shit back in the day. So when I used to go to the comic book stores, Spawn covers always stood out to me so much more than any other cover.
Yeah.
That McFarlane,
a completely different way of drawing.
Oh, it was crazy, man.
Yeah.
You stacking bodies?
We're out. Huh? This is it.
Yeah, man. I mean, Tom McFarlane, I really like his work, and Spawn was a really cool comic. I really, really love the HBO series. Have you seen that?
You know what? Everybody says that, but I've always tried to watch it, and I just felt it started so boring that I've never watched the whole
animated,
thing.
right?
Yeah,
I never checked it out either.
Well, yeah. I mean, maybe it's not for these days, but when you see it at the time, that's a different story. And it's the same with the Max. I don't know if you ever saw the Max, but the Max from MTV, I love that.
Oh, me too. You ever see those MTV shows? They had like the Max. They had the
I know what you're talking about.
Eon Flux.
And Eon Flux.
Oh, my wife is a huge Eon Flux fan. We got the whole set here.
Brothers Grimm.
I don't remember that one.
Yeah. Yo, like, I know this wouldn't be accurate, but you can leave the ponytail off.
You don't like the ponytail?
The man bun ponytail on Hellboy. Oh, I always hate it.
I think I have on my head right now.
I know.
Let me show you. Let me show you my hair.
Oh, we can't see you. Hold on.
Whoa.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, but you got a full head. But what I never understood about Hellboy
all the way here.
So basically, if you want to see the ponytail, you just put your hair up, take a picture.
Yeah, and that's it. It's a Hellboy style.
Yeah, but you got the hair on top. Hellboy got no hair on top. The friar tuck.
He's hanging on to it.
Ponytail.
Yeah.
Right. So, my man Tim's got a good question. While you work, do you normally like listen to music? Do you listen to gem and collectibles? What do you got going on when you're sculpting at night?
Well, I listen to all of you guys when I have a chance, and when I sometimes miss some of the chats, just to like have the company and just to learn about, because at the end, I mean, you're the guys that are buying this, so you're the reason why I'm able to do this. So it's nice to know you guys and to know what you like and what you would like to collect. And other than that, I listen to a lot of podcasts. I listen to some like kind of business kind of talks. To some other artists. I really like to know about the other artists' journeys. You know, like I listen to there's this YouTube channel that's called One Fantastic Week. It's about these two guys that started working for illustration during Magic the Gathering, and now they have their own Patreon, and they can support themselves just by Patreon.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's super cool. It's a different way of doing business.
I think it's interesting, and I think a lot of our listeners and everything will think it's interesting also that you check out the reviews because you want to cater to the people. I mean, there's some artists out there, and I'm not to say this is wrong.
They don't give a shit.
They don't care. They're like, yo, this is my rendition, and I'm going to do it how I want to do it. And I think there's no wrong way either way, but I think a lot of people appreciate an artist who is like, okay, they didn't like my nose, so I'm going to update my nose going in forward or something, you know.
I do this with these kind of characters, with the superhero characters that I know that is, I say, catering for
our
audience. I don't give a fuck what everybody else think about my own creations. That's like what I'm thinking, what I want to do, and that's it. If I'm lucky enough, other people will like it and will buy it. But it's a different feeling. It's a different story. It's something more personal. Sorry about the fact, but I meant it like in a way that it's a totally different feel. You know, one thing is catering for me, and the other one is catering for people.
When it's not your own creation, you have to be sensitive to the original source material. That's what people want. That's what they love. When it's your own creation, nobody's got anything else to compare it to. I mean, do what you want.
There's no rabid fan base worse than the comic book collectors.
Yeah.
If you F up a comic book character, yo, good luck with you.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, and I mean, sometimes you have to resist the temptation, you know, of like kind of updating the character or changing this because you think that will look cooler or stuff like that. Sometimes, I mean, my case at least, I try to stick to the original, but trying to give it a little bit of update, but enough that you can see the original character there, and just enough so you can see that it's a little bit more updated, more modern time.
Right. No, I get that. I like the modernization a little bit, you know, like the costumes with textures. They don't have textures in the comics.
No, they won't.
Well, I think it's important also from like if you're purchasing a statue, let's use Wolverine, probably one of the most done statue characters out there.
Yeah.
You want each artist to have his own moderate take on it, and then you like it based on that. Like that's very important. Like you don't want 20 different artists doing the same Wolverine statue.
And and on top of that, comic book artists are not even the same. Look at Sam Keith's Wolverine compared to Jim Lee's. It's day and night.
It's actually the same. The medium or the collecting habit. It's like, you know, I'm a Jim Lee Wolverine fan. Oh, I'm a John Byrne Wolverine fan, or whatever. You know, it's important.
Yeah, and I mean, all the artists have their own take on the character, but I think that most of the collectors, for example, are over like 30, right? So of those, all of us, we grew up like watching the cartoons and reading the kind of like the Jim Lee comics style.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why we like that kind of character.
Right.
In 15 years, maybe the new guys that are going to like a different Wolverine, the one with the blue stripes and all that. That's the thing. I mean,
it's whatever has that nostalgic feel to it, right?
Because from what I know, I mean, most of the collectors are doing this by nostalgia.
Yeah.
Right.
Sure.
I mean, that's why I collect a lot of stuff, and I think it's important because it's something that makes you feel good inside. You know, when you get that thing and you can enjoy watching it and having it at home, it's like the real trophy.
I think if there's one thing that kind of worries me about the hobby, if you will, is, I mean, anytime we do these talks and with our live show and with anyone, everyone's roughly around our age.
Right.
I'm always worried about what's the new generation. Are the younger kids coming up enjoying this as much as we did, and will they stick with it like we did?
I think
are we just a bunch of old ass weirdos?
No, I think they're gonna come up on the movie.
Yeah, me too. I agree with you. Yeah,
right? They're gonna resonate more with like the actors and the movie version.
Which doesn't that somewhat bother you, maybe?
A little bit.
A little bit, right?
No old generation likes what the new generation likes, right? No matter what it is.
No. Yeah. Grandpa Simpson said it first.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You know?
Back in my day, Jim Lee was the best Wolverine.
When I was cool in my day, but I'm not cool anymore. And it's going to happen to you. You know?
Exactly.
You know what's funny? I'm looking at Franco crushing these Coronas, and I'm thinking, like, this guy's on the other side of the world. He's our same age. He's into comics. He's drinking beers. It's like, it's crazy how
an ocean is the only thing that divides us,
right? That's crazy, man.
Yeah, man, that's the good thing about the internet.
Yeah, man.
You open a whole world to me because I've never been able to do this when I was just living back there in Mar del Plata. Okay, so what? Sorry.
So how long you said you have been in Spain for? What was it? The last year or two, or how long?
The last year.
The last year, and you were in Argentina before that.
Yeah, we were in Argentina. Yeah, I have a wife and a daughter. And my wife.
How come you moved out to Spain?
Yeah, because things over in Argentina were not looking so great.
Right.
I just for my future. I mean, I was thinking like, what the hell I'm going to be doing here in the next 20 years? It was like, there has to be something else I can do. My wife and I have never been afraid of trying different stuff, you know, and just going for it. So we just did. I mean, she used to live here when she was younger, just right in this city, and she really loved it. And so we got talking, and we were like, let's give it a try, you know. We sold everything. We sold the car. We rented the house. We left the office, apartment, everything, and just came here. And I just changed the office, really, because it's not like I'm working for somebody down here.
Right. You can pretty much do what you're doing anywhere, right?
Yeah. As long as I have a good connection. But the thing was the future of my daughter. You know, I was looking like for a good place for that because sadly my hometown wasn't the best place.
I like how you said, you know, we were just like, you know what, let's try something new. You can't be afraid of change, and that's important. You know, a lot of people just stay in the same comfort zone for too long.
No, man, I mean, living is all about doing stuff, you know. So you gotta try. I mean, I have done video clips. I have done a lot of things that I really enjoyed doing. I hate to have the doubt, you know, or not the doubt, but to have that feeling of what would have happened if I have done that. Fuck it, just try it, and we'll see, man. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? So sorry.
I got a question, and I don't know if you can answer this. I'm not as up to date on what I can talk about and what I can't talk about. So, what can you tell us about what your next project's going to be? Can you tell us what you're going to be working on here in the immediate future? Are you able to at all? Can you tease a little teaser trailer here?
Look at them. Look at Jim, and tell me.
We can't talk about any products. What about characters?
But not even if you're working for a company, you can talk. So it's not like you have something different to say. Yeah, just ask anybody of the guys that are working for companies. They're going to be able to do anything.
Let me rephrase my question, because you said earlier you wanted to do a Batman. You're interested in doing a Batman. So what would be your idea with a Batman sculpt?
But that's the thing. That's the only reason why I haven't really done it, because I still like trying to figure out. Yeah, I had because I have these different flashes of ideas sometimes. Sometimes I feel like it would be really, really cool for me to make something like a big, broad, grown-up Batman with the suit, like holding the shoulders of this little kid with the two parents dead on the floor, you know? It would be like, I don't know, it's something I have in my head. Well, you cut the mic.
No. Can you hear it?
Yeah, I can hear it.
Okay, so what I wanted to ask you is like, what version of Batman is your Batman?
Well, for the longest time, I think it was, if we're talking about movies or just comics.
You know what? Whatever, man.
Well,
what gets your goat?
The one I really like is, I think, is the Frank Miller's, because I like that rough guy, but I like the comic version. This is very important. Batman does not kill. That is his whole persona. That's the only reason why he exists. That's the only reason why the Joker is alive. That's the only reason why Arkham exists. He doesn't kill. That's very important for a character.
Spider-Man's. That's the difference between Batman and Spider-Man. They may have the defining characteristic of we don't kill, but Batman's still a playboy with a shit ton of money, and Spider-Man's still a loser and broke as fuck all the time.
He's more relatable. No one can relate to fucking Bruce Wayne.
I always relate to Bruce Wayne. Mad money, mad cars, mad shit.
Hey, Franco, how do you feel, if you like Frank Miller's Batman, how do you feel about the new Prime 1/3 scale Batman?
I saw it. That's the only thing I can tell you.
Oh, wow. I liked it, man.
Okay, so I got a question.
Yeah, but that's the thing what I told you about. It's like, the artist did a great job, that's for sure, but it's not what I would have done. That's the thing.
Wow.
So that's the problem that I have. That's why I don't really like to. It's not because they're bad, because it's a really good sculpt, but it's not for me.
How about the this is what I was whispering around in the background because I don't know the name of it. How about the new Batman that you saw? We saw it at San Diego. We saw it again at NYCC, painted with all the villains around.
Oh, what do you think about the Batman?
From that one, from next time, yeah. From that one, I like the painted one. I mean, when he's painted, and all the other ones are in clear resin.
Right.
But this is the thing. I mean, that's the problem. As I know that it's like we're the same, right? I like all these things. But it's not the same if you critique a statue as if I critique a statue.
Mm.
It's a different thing because it comes from a different place, you know.
Right. You're more of a technical critique.
No, yeah, and also it's like these guys are my colleagues.
Right.
So if I have to say something, I much rather just
professional respect.
Yeah,
especially because you're going to be working for him soon, so we don't want to make you look bad.
But I guess it's not about that. It's all that I respect my colleagues.
No,
because I know how hard it is to work on this.
But the sanity, though, was because we were talking about, you said you wanted to do Batman. You weren't really sure what you wanted to do. You had ideas. Did you like that idea of the Batman sanity? Like, I kind of really liked the, with all of his villains. I mean, that's what's great about Batman and his rogues gallery, you know?
You highlighted what makes Batman great.
Right. And he's fighting all of it. Dope, you know.
So Franco, I feel like you would fit in with XM Studios because they always go like above and beyond with their bases and their ideas and concepts, and I feel like you have a very similar ambition. I don't know. Do you agree with that, or what do you think?
Yeah, I think they have like really good pieces, and the thing is that I haven't seen almost any statue live, in person. So I haven't seen any. Yeah.
Oh.
So I mean, for what I see, they do outstanding work. It's really awesome. I mean, yeah, it would be really nice to work for them for sure.
Hey, Franco, let me ask you: have you ever been to the United States?
Yeah, many times.
Oh, you have? Okay.
Yeah, man. Yeah, to California, New York, Miami, where else?
El Paso.
Well, Orlando. Yeah, El Paso. No, never been there. Nobody goes there.
Have you ever been to any of the Comic Cons, like San Diego, New York Comic?
No, not yet, man. No, not yet.
Next year, man.
Okay, so we have a fan request for you, Franco, from one of your biggest fans, been in the chat from the jump, one of our boys, Tim. Any way you can get a cigar in the mouth of that Hellboy?
Yeah, man.
That's all he says. He's like, yeah, man.
Yeah,
Look,
sure, no problem.
Duh.
His horn looks like a cigar almost, right?
Yeah, that's the thing. So let's use this.
Copy and paste, baby.
Yeah. Wow. Yo, Franco, if you next time you come to the States, man, we gotta link up.
Yeah, man, for sure. I would really like to go to one of the cons. Yeah. I really like New York City, so I would like to go there again.
I'll tell you what, I did New York and San Diego this year. New York was by far the most fun I've ever had with the people.
But that's why because you spend a lot of time with the guys. And
yeah, and walking around the city, and it was a dope experience, man.
Yeah, wow, you never been to New York before?
Yeah,
that was your first time.
That was your first time?
No. Well, it was my first time in a long time. It was my first time as an adult.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's a big difference.
Yes, I was able to
mostly in New York.
So look at this, man. He made a horn into the cigar. he tilted his mouth a little bit.
Kind of feel like he cheated a bit.
But hey,
no shame in the game.
At all. That's tight.
Oh, my God. You put the lower lip. Looks like Stallone there.
That's
Adrian.
That's tight, man.
There we go. Then we have to do some...
Okay, so Franco, when you're done with the cigar, we need you to give a shout out to a Tim, Child of the Atom Collectibles. You're probably gonna get a hard on once you do it. If you give him a name shout out, yo.
What's the name? Atim,
yeah.
Right? Atim. Yeah, man. Yeah, we share a lot of comments, I think.
Yeah, Tim is
he's a real one, man.
He's an OG in the statue game, man.
That's cool, man.
Look at this, man. Putting the little leaf wraps.
Ooh, there's a big storm here.
That's a stogie.
He's a slobber.
I like cigars.
Oh, do you smoke cigars?
Yeah, but not very often. I mean, my wife doesn't let me smoke anything in the house.
There was a time where I was into them too, man.
I like it for special events, weddings.
Yeah, that's the thing. For special events, because they really smell, man. You want to.
So I said I was in New York as an adult, and somebody comments, "Jem, are you really an adult though?"
No, man, child.
That cigar looks dope as fuck. Yo, that looks dope, man.
Everyone's saying that's crazy cool.
That is dope.
Tim passed out.
Hey, Franco, so let me ask you this though. So you do these renders, right? But then you color the renders as well, no?
Yeah, I do. I mean, this is not render; it's just a model. The render part is what it's called when you do the lighting and all that. And yeah, I do. And it's fun. I mean, that's because of my background as a 3D journalist.
Right.
I know how to do a lot of those things. So what I do is I take all this to a different software, and that is where I light it and do the coloring. I do it here. I do it just here.
Yeah, because I'm thinking that your Iceman, you had to change the texture of the model to make him look clear and everything, right?
Yeah. I mean, I have to make it a shader kind of looks like glass, you can say, right?
Jeez, Franco, you be damn. I know. God damn, man. Is it just me, or is it hard? I'm excited for this new Hellboy movie, but even when I'm looking at this, I still see Ron Perlman.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, because I'm using Ron Perlman as a reference, but yeah.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
Well,
I'm excited for the new
that's how
movie
good you are. Because I was like, yo, I see Ron Perlman. I had no idea you were doing that.
Yeah, but I'm excited about the new movie because I like the character, so I really like to see what they're going to do. And the thing is that the guy that is playing the Hellboy,
Yeah, David Harbour.
yeah, he's the guy from the Stranger Things, and I really like the series.
Yeah, me too, man. I think he's gonna make a great Hellboy. To be honest with you, I'm
Yeah,
excited.
me too.
And I like
Me
the
too,
take
man.
they're all talking about doing it less comic booky and more horror.
Yeah,
I'm about that. Like I like the idea of switching it up, especially a character like Hellboy, the supernatural, the
Well, the
themes.
comic book is almost horror.
Yeah, I mean, let's do it.
yeah, it's more like horror. Yeah, horror fantasy. Yeah, it's more like that.
It's very dark shadows. It's got a lot of like mysticism to it.
Yeah,
Wow, look at this thing comes to life, man.
yeah, dude. It looks like fucking Ron Perlman from Sons of Anarchy with a Hellboy face. It's like,
He was a dick in Sons of Anarchy.
oh, he was dope though.
Yeah, I liked him. He was a piece of shit. Fucking Peggy Bundy.
Gemma.
No, I never got to see that one. Sounds fun.
You never watched Sons of Anarchy?
No.
Oh man, you need to. It's on Netflix, bro. You gotta do it.
Yeah,
Six,
but it's hard, man. I mean, I don't. As I told you, I mean, you have to bench watch some of those things, and
Right.
Yeah.
I am really into Game of Thrones. I really like that. I'm waiting for the last season.
Hell yeah.
Game of Thrones, yeah. And what else have been watching?
Speaking of, you know what? That's funny because I was actually going to ask you that question earlier, and I got kind of sidetracked when I think it was when we were talking about your original ideas. But like, so you do a lot of like comic book characters, and I was going to ask, have you ever thought about doing something? I was going to say Game of Thrones. Have you ever thought about doing sculpts on not so much comic book characters, but you said you like pop culture. Like, would you ever do a Jon Snow or a Daenerys on a dragon or something like that?
Yeah, man. I didn't sculpt Daenerys, but I have to sculpt Jon Snow. Who else? Let me
you
show
have done a Jon Snow.
Yeah, but for the job, for a commercial for Game of Thrones.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
What is it?
Yeah.
So what about music? I think music.
He's going to, yeah.
Game of Thrones promo, play movie. I think it's this one. I did all the characters in like, I think I had like 2 weeks, man. That was crazy because I had to match the likeness. So you got
Cersei right there for sure.
Yeah, Cersei, Jon Snow.
Wow.
Yeah. I didn't. And this guy that was a motherfucker. I didn't do the animation. I just did the models. Yeah?
Okay.
That's cool. So you might get a kick out of this. One of my really good buddies, a real good friend of mine, he's married to the girl who does stunt double for Arya Stark on Game of Thrones. She gets all her stunts and everything. It's awesome, man.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, that's the thing about living there. Is that you have access to all of these things. Yeah, it's true. It's a perk.
So, shout out to Adam's asking, have you ever sculpted any animals like dogs or wolves or anything?
Yeah, many.
Is it difficult to figure out the anatomy of dogs because their hind legs are like all weird and stuff?
Yeah, it takes time. That's everything. I mean, how to. But the thing is that most of those kind of jobs, I had to do that. It's the beard that's kicking in. I had to do them when I was working on commercials.
Right.
So you have to a fast turnaround, man. So you have to do it. That's it. It has to be done.
Yes.
You have to do it. Yeah, it is what it is, and then he goes. But those kind of jobs is where I really don't miss at all.
Yes. So somebody mentioned in the chat, right? How many Hellboy statues are even out there? I mean, you have maybe 2 or 3 of them. I mean, how often do you see a live sculpting of Hellboy, right?
Yeah, it's fun. Good to know.
I used to have the sideshow comic version. It was a good statue.
Yeah, I saw it. It's really good. That one I saw it in person in a con here. There is a con here that is called like Salón del Cómic de Barcelona.
Right.
And it was really cool. I really like it.
Have you Okay, I'm trying to think. So I know you did a Wolverine was like one of your first ones that you did and keyed up and everything, and you did the one to go with the Punisher. Are those the only Wolverines that you've done?
No, I have done a few more.
A few more. Okay. Can't talk about it, right?
If it were up to me, I would talk about everything, but it's not up to me.
I got you. Not yet. Not yet, at least, right?
Not yet. It's like, yeah. Eventually.
So let me think here. What else could we? I'm just reading the chat right now, man. Man, that Hellboy is on point.
Yeah, so I heard you talking about how many Hellboys are out there. I feel like at this point you need to just save the statue. This needs to be like a Gem Men exclusive, and you need to come back to it later.
There is still something weird with him because I think he's like too thin or something like that. I don't know.
Too thin? I don't know, man. I think it's perfect. I don't know.
Looks good.
Yeah.
Maybe cheekbones are too far apart.
You know, it's funny with Hellboy too because in the comics, they don't make him very detailed. He's very
he's very square. Yeah.
Right.
Well, they never made him really like the Ron Perlman, the movie version.
Yes.
It was like more adult. He always looked like to me, he always looked like a little kid in an adult's body.
I don't think so. I think that he's very blocky in the comics, and that Ron Perlman is the first time that you saw him as detailed as we see him now.
Like a normal anatomy.
Like it would be in real life.
Yeah.
Right. In the comics, he has very skinny legs with hooves, very big upper body, and he's very blocky.
Yeah.
Almost like Wreck-It Ralph or something.
I never liked the face in the comics either.
Big stone face.
Yeah.
Like one of those statues on Stone Island.
Easter Island.
Yes, that's the kind of face he has.
Yeah, that's a style. For the love of me, I can't remember the name of the. Can you say the name of the artist? He's the one that writes this. God damn it.
Mignola.
Mike Mignola. Thanks. Yeah, he's the one that draws.
I kind of like the picture too of the new actor with the long hair, like with the ponytail down, and it's before he got bald on top.
Yeah, that's really cool. I can't wait to see it.
You, Franco, looks like a Franco Hellboy.
Yeah.
What do they want me to ask you? Have you ever done running of the bulls?
No, man. That's why because I'm in Spain. That's what he's asking. But that's in. For me, I think, right? Yeah, it's a different city. And it's just some crazy stuff, and I'm not going to risk my life to...
Hell no.
What is this? Donde está los banos?
Where's the bathroom?
Yeah. Man, you need to work on your Spanish. You're living in Pancho.
That's right, man. I can't.
Bro, yo hablo español right here. No entiendo.
Manimal speaks Spanish.
That's good.
That's crazy that you speak Spanish. You're the whitest guy I've ever met.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, sir. Oh man, this Hellboy came together quick.
I know, man. Shout out to Tim for the cigar idea.
No, the cigar is like dope. So with Hellboy though, with him having hooves, does that make it difficult? How do you say it?
Hoofs.
Hooves?
Yeah.
Is it hoofs or hooves?
I don't know. I don't know.
It'd be hooves.
It behooves me to have hooves on the Hellboy statue.
Anyway, how do you break that down? Because you got to clock his knee back and all this and his ankles.
Yeah, you got that backward ass knee.
You got that. Oh,
Doctor said he needs his knee out of me.
He needs a backy out of me. Frank goes like, look, I'm just trying to get the cigar right.
He's like, I agreed to drink beers with these guys, and look what happened.
I'm going as fast as I can.
You're going super fast, brother. I feel like
no rush, man.
If we hung out another 30 minutes, this shit will be done. Full body scope. Damn. That's cool, man. Franco, so is this something that you do full time now? I mean, or do you have another career or what?
No, man. I'm doing this full time. I have done too many different things already. I don't want to do any more like. I don't know, like working on cafeterias or working on delivery stuff, or I have done a lot of that when I was younger. So now I'm all in here.
Yeah, so
well, that's dope, man. I mean, at least you realize, well, one, you said it takes so much time. So I can't imagine you working another job And you were already saying this takes like the Rogue. He said the Rogue took what, 6 months?
No, 3, almost 3.
3 months. So if you were working another job, I mean, goddamn, 47.
Well, not only did it take 3 months, you can't really do it every day. He said because you gotta step back and like not look at it for
chill out, relax. Yeah.
They're good.
Yeah, it's mostly because my eyes like kind of play tricks on me, and sometimes it's like, oh yeah, this looks great, and then you go to bed and you wake up the next day and it's like it's shit. You're like all out of place, and you're like, what I was thinking, and it's like because your brain is like telling you you're fucking tired, go to bed, go to sleep, go to sleep. So it's like that. So I don't know.
Are you the kind of guy who lays in bed? Like, let's say let's use this for example. You finish Hellboy and you go to bed right now tonight after this, and you're like, damn, those mutton chops weren't thick enough. I need to get them thicker.
Yeah, it's like I go to bed when just my body is like, stop. Just stop.
Your mind's just running.
So, many times I have like fell asleep in the chair, man. Here, like waking up in the middle of the night.
Yeah. Should have put another stroke in that beard.
Yeah, damn it.
Shit is looking legit, man.
Yeah. I mean, this honestly looks like a still from the movie.
Yeah.
Oh, there's something. I don't know what it is. But well, yeah, I mean.
Yeah, whatever it is, you need to keep this. Shop it.
Oh. Twice. Oh. Gotta be on the live.
What's going on, the wife?
What's that?
What's going on?
Nah, man, we got a phone call.
Yeah, a very important phone call.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can tell.
Oh, man.
Yeah, she's counting the beers.
We good?
Yeah.
Everyone's loving it, man. So people in the chat, Jake saying, hey, the Hellboy is insane. They're just loving it, man.
Thanks, man.
Yo, they want to know where to buy it right now.
Right?
I saw like four comments of people being like, "Is this on sale? Is this for sale?"
It's not even finished, so no.
It's going to be like this. I mean, there are a lot of stuff that I start just like to study and to do some practice, and then they end up doing nothing. It's like sketches, but in 3D.
Franco, do you like statues to be fully sculpted, or do you like when it has like cloth mixed media?
No, I like full sculpted, I think, because it's like it's a full statue. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like that. It looks like a doll to me when it has that mixed media.
Kind of looks, yeah, it's a different thing. It's not a statue. It's a mix, so it's not the same to me.
What is it?
That's just personal opinion.
No, I agree. I feel the same way. I like it. I would rather be fully sculpted.
Yeah, they feel more like a statue, and they are supposed to be statues. So that's the thing.
Yeah.
So I feel like let's say this was just going to be a bust. I honestly feel like you could probably still sit here for 4 more hours critiquing this, right, and like going in on it.
Yeah, sure.
Like to make it happy, like where you were comfortable with it. You would just do like minor things that we probably wouldn't even notice.
Probably.
Probably.
It's funny that he would spend so much time on that, but people who collect will still pick it apart.
Right. Oh yeah. I thought you were going to say something else. I answered before. Then you said people would still buy it.
Oh, yeah.
But people would still pick it apart. Yeah, you're right.
Oh, they always do, but it's not, I mean, it's not about that. If one person has it and loves it and is really happy with it, that's good. That's enough. I mean,
yeah, you can't.
Obviously, I mean, yeah, you can please everybody, but obviously, as many people like it, it's better. But it's just better because you're making more people happy. It's not like. And obviously, I mean, if it's good, I get a better reputation. I get more jobs. I get more money. I can pay my bills like more relaxed.
Archangel just said, I would have bought it a long time ago. And I think he's talking about when it was the blob phase. It was just the cylinder. The sphere. He's like, yeah, I got you. BO that shit right now.
I wonder who has a license for Hellboy. I guess Sideshow has it.
I guess I should, yeah, because
They have
well, they did, yeah. Well, and the new movie is coming out, so expect a new statue. Pretty soon.
Work on this already then.
Yeah, probably they are because if there is a new movie, you want to bank on that, man. It's all about
Oh, well, here you go. Now you got
creative and business, and if you want to keep doing creative stuff, you need to do good business because that's the only way you can get money to make more creative stuff.
Yeah, you also gotta like be in line with what's happening now. You know what I'm saying?
You got to play to the crowd.
Yeah, Hellboy's got a new movie coming out.
What's hot?
Right.
Well, you see all Venom's everywhere right now.
Stuff coming out.
Yeah, they have the one sideshow piece.
Right? Like, there's no Captain Marvel love out there right now. It doesn't seem like. And you could do a lot with, like, I mean, think of different costumes.
Well, they
like
do. They do have an old one with the sash belt thing.
Yeah, so you could do like Ms. Marvel, you could do Captain Marvel, you could do the Kree uniform Marvel.
She had a long story, yeah.
There's a lot of options there. Yo, I'm giving you gold, Franco.
I get gold every day, man. I get people every day.
You should do this. You should do that.
Right, exactly.
Everybody's an art director, man.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Man, I didn't expect to see this much detail on this piece. I thought we would have had a wireframe outline or something.
I know, right? We're worried about what are we going to do, and it'll even get finished, and this is like, purchasable
as a bust. That's tight, man.
I could keep working on this for hours, man. So
yeah.
Let's just talk about something. Let me taste this.
I don't know how much more I could even ask you, man. All I know is I love your work. I'm excited to get them X-Men pieces in. I'm excited to see you grow, and you're already my favorite sculptor, but I feel like you're gonna do big things, man. I feel like these companies, they watch these shows and they know what's going on out there, so they see your work.
Feel it, son? Damn.
Well, that's beer too.
Stacking bodies.
No, that's free, man.
Come on, Franco. Where you
at? No, I got free, man. Here's the cups. And the one I have with dinner. So that's
but a lot of the guys in the chat are echoing what Jem's saying too. They're all like, Tim and a bunch of these dudes are all saying you're their favorite sculptor right now. I mean,
yeah, man, thanks.
You're the hot ticket, bro.
Hey, let me ask you this, Franco.
Hot ticket.
Hot ticket.
If you had your own company, what license would you try to go for?
Oh, that's a good question.
I know. That's why I
I think that, if I have, you're so
X-Men. It's got to be X-Men. There's nothing more
Yeah, that's the thing. X-Men. I would really love. One thing I would really love to do is make a really freaking big fighting scene with the X-Men's. But that would be just too much. That would be crazy. But that would be like a dream project, like making like this extremely big diorama of the fight scenes, because you have too many good characters. You can fight with them each other. If you go for like a Batman, you have him, and you have a really big plate of villains, but it's mostly him. I mean, he's the main one. Right. But with the X-Men, you can really play with a lot of different characters.
You could have Magneto up top, the Brotherhood of the fighting the X.
Yeah, they imagine like the fighting scene. They remember the coolest intro ever.
Hell yeah!
You know that? Well, imagine something like that, but all like display in a 1/4 scale. Something like super crazy. But it's not something that is for a collectible because you're never going to be able to display that.
Right.
Never say never.
No, that would be really cool. But yeah, I mean that's the thing. Some stuff that I would really like to do is it's on the Batman side. I mean, not only Batman, but some of the villains. I would like to tackle some of the villains.
But you could even do like a Batman the same and have like the Bat family. You could have the Robins down there. You could have Batgirl swinging in.
I mean, come on, bro.
Yeah.
He's like, no.
That's all I want. I want it all.
You want too much.
Well, he wants me to have it, and then he can just come over and see it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
All right, Franco. So I think we're winding down. It's late over there for you. I really appreciate you coming on. You're our first guest, right? And on the live show.
Yeah, live show guest. Yeah,
for sure, man. We definitely appreciate it. You have anything that you want to say to the Geminites before we cut this off?
No, man, just keep collecting what you like. Don't worry about what other people say. If you like it, if you want it, just get it. And if you see something that is mine, just get it. It's better for me. Review it, you know, get it out there.
No worries.
No, man, yeah. I have to say, I am really thankful to this whole community because, okay, my head is like crazy now.
Get the Hellboy hair going.
Yeah. No, because if it weren't, you know, because of you guys are putting all this out there and showing the love, I don't think I would be doing this. So yeah, I'm thankful to you, man.
Hey, tell your website, the one that you were looking at.
Yeah,
Shoot your website out there.
Oh, it's ArtStation. It's my name and ArtStation. If you Google my name, actually, luckily I have a kind of a unique name. So if you Google my name, you get this ArtStation. It's
ArtStation. You can drool over those renders all day.
Yep.
I know when I get some pieces in, I definitely will be giving you a shout out. You know, on the ones that you sculpted.
You on IG? I know you're on Facebook and everything.
On Instagram too.
Where can they find you on Instagram?
It's the same. It's my full name, Franco Carlesimo. Franco Carlesimo. Ese es mi nombre completo. So yeah, you can find it there. I mean, luckily I have. It's not like a Sean Smith, you know.
No, you're good at branding. Everything's the same name, not like my man Tim, who's got it.
So you get that name and you find it everywhere.
Shout out to Sinister Collector, $2 super chat that he donated to support Ultimate. What is that?
My beanie, I guess.
Is there something I didn't know about?
I think when I wore that beanie on those videos, it just blew the internet up. I don't know.
All right, Shoot Franco, thank you again for coming on the show, man. We appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
Thank you, everyone, for watching, and y'all stay busy fresh. Peace.
Peace.